Awesome. Hey, everybody. Welcome to bonus content. I like how I said that to you with no preparation. Like, I'm going to tell you this, but I'm not going to give you any time to any further questions.
And now we're live.
And now we're live. Oh, shit. I didn't use my inhaler. I guess I can wait. I can wait until after bonus content for that. Welcome to bonus content. I'm Alex O'Neill. Options here. This is a very like mellow way to start off IP350. If you think about like our other like landmark, it's not 100 landmark is the thing. Like the 50s are weird. I'm trying to think like what did we do for 150? I don't think we did anything.
I think that's what we do in like call-ins all the time, right?
Yeah, we usually do call-ins. I was just like, man, I got too much on my plate this week, this month, and next month. I just cannot. I can't right now. So that's why I was like, we'll have a guest lined up. Guest had to cancel last minute. No offense to them. It's just like that fell through. Scott's like this morning, can't be on the show. Sorry guys. Oh, there's Tony.
I'm here.
Tony's here. Hi Tony.
Hello.
Welcome to bonus content.
I'm on bonus content.
We literally just started, so you had great timing.
Great.
Tony's here. Tony's got to step out for like a hot 30 minutes.
It might be longer, but we'll find out.
We'll find out. We'll find out together. We're going to hold our hands and walk into the danger zone together. But it's all right. I think this is going to be a good show. We're going to have a lot of good conversations. That's my goal. In true irrational passion style. I had to say, here's my idea for bonus content, guys. I'm going to take the moment, since this is a video medium, bonus content is, maybe do a little walkthrough of our new website. Show off some things that people might not have seen and I think are really cool. How do you feel about this?
That's fine, sure.
Okay. I mean, like, listen, I'm trying to do what the people want. How do I share screens? Oh, there we go. I got it. I figured it out. I'll share my desktop. This could be dangerous. I don't have anything incriminating. Ooh. All right. Let's present to everyone.
Man, this is going well.
I'm gonna turn off camera. Okay. Off of that. Oh, I guess I should cover up the Hangout page. Let's see. Do I have anything incriminating on my desktop? No, I don't. Just audio files. So, let's go on a tour of IrrationalPassions.com. You guys have visited the website. How do you guys feel about it?
That's good.
Thanks, man. Tony was like, this looks like hot trash. I was like, no, I'm just kidding.
I didn't say that.
Tony actually said it looks really slick and paid me a compliment. I was very taken aback. And I appreciate you, Tony. Even though
I like how that's like paying a compliment as well as being insulting at the same time.
Yeah, coming from Tony, I take what I can get. So, this is our new front page. It's funny because it's like a static page now. Like when I update it, I have to update the front page. But like it shows posts as they come in. We got this cool little 3-block section showing off most recent posts, and then a little post carousel, kind of going through some stuff. What I like is when like a review loads in, it'll fill in the circle as it comes in. It won't do it anymore because it already did it, but like it'll fill in like the little loop of it, which I think is rad. It's much wider, which was a thing that I wanted our website to actually look like a modern video game website, as opposed to like it was 600 pixels wide for the main column, and I believe 160 pixels wide for the right column, and I had to know those measurements. Because if anything was wider, it would not expand the column. It would make it like boxed in with a scroll wheel. It was a whole thing. It was a nightmare. There's a new post. So we had like a couple of things that we held to launch this with. George wrote a piece on a visual novel called Ghosts of Miami, which was really good. You should check that out. There's a new episode of Input out. today. This is hopefully going forward what the new feature image for Irrational Passions will look like. I have the little logo up top there. Our new logo. I haven't updated like this little sidebar logo yet, but I'll get to it. I had a lot to do this week. In my defense, that's my defense of being lazy. And outside that, it's just a general blog roll, and then we have like a video player down here at the bottom as well. And that's cool. So any of our video posts will just fill in here, and you can play them right there. And then at the bottom, we have the latest posts and everything. What's also cool is we have like a lot of more options for posts. Like, the podcast posts generally look the same. Got like the text area and the video and the column on the side. If I keep scrolling, it'll actually just load in the next post. So for example, this is what a review looks like. It's like much wider. It uses the full margin. I can use multiple fonts in a single post now, which is really great. This is my Destiny 2 review, which you can read right now.
Did you hold that for this?
I was going to post it last week, and then I found out about this. So
Yeah, 'cause
yes,
I didn't know how long you were sitting on that.
but I finished it the beginning of, I think I finished it like last Saturday,
Okay.
like almost 2 weeks ago. So I found out that they were going to do this, and then I was like, okay, I'll just sit on this until, because I had one of the demo posts for this theme is a Destiny Taken King post showing how like wide images can be and everything. And I was like, oh, this would work out well. Reviews look like this now. There are a few different ways we can actually customize this. There's like a blank here because there's like a third part that we don't have or we don't do in our reviews. There's discussions going on behind the scenes about possibly switching to a 20-point scale as opposed to a 10-point scale. As in, like, 0.5s would be possible. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Boy, was this a hard thing to make look good. I will tell you that also. I like that I've color-coded things, right? So actually, I'll show one more thing about posts. Like when you're in a post, as you scroll down through the post, there's a little blue bar that goes across the top here. Shows you how much left you have of that post, which I think is really clever.
That's subtle.
Part of the slick factor, I believe. Tony would categorize that as slick.
I would.
In his Irrational Passions website review. I just think that's like really cool. I didn't even know about that until we had set up the site. Another thing is like categories can be color coded, right? So podcasts have like this little black box around them. Opinion posts have this green box. Reviews are purple, et cetera, et cetera. IrrationalPod has its own. It's white, and then input's pink, and then Monthly Passions is yellow. And Alex Talks is red, Lost Oddities is orange. So I can like color code every single category on the website, which is really cool.
Is there a colorblind mode?
That's a great question. We're looking into that. Irrational Passions does not comment on rumors or speculation. And yeah. I currently, our pages, like the About Us page and the Extra Life page, are fucked on mobile. And I'm working on that. Which, like, I just wanted to say I'm working on that so I can sound important. But it's, I think it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Also, video posts, just for reference. Let me see, I'll go to, like, I'll go to an old. Do I have older video posts? Yeah, I do. They like have their own style of posts that makes it easier to kind of post. Let's see, it's like an old Alex Talks. Makes it easier to post videos as well. And some of them don't have feature images currently. Like this. This is what video posts will look like. They look all slick and whatnot. Go on, Tony. Did you have a comment about the third slick?
No, I didn't.
But yeah, that's a tour of the new IrrationalPassions.com. I'm very proud of it. I'm also very appreciative of George Cruz and Logan Wilkinson, who spent hours with me converting old reviews and posts over to the new format, which did take literally hours.
Anything lost in transition?
No, nothing lost. Some images. So, like, some of the posts don't have feature images.
Yeah, that's fine, though.
But, like, no one cares. Like, all the text is still there. All the timestamps were adjusted for the new versions of posts back to the original days they were posted. So it didn't refill up the front page. So every review on IrrationalPassions.com is accessible in our new review format. So all of them have been converted over, including Tiny Barbarian DX by Jarrett Green. You could go read this, and not all of them have like the wider version, but they've all been translated to like the new format. So, and that is all thanks to George and Logan. They did all the reviews. I did the first one to kind of show them how to do it, and then they like just did it like over the weekend with me. And I did all the video posts and then did the front page and the design and everything. So I did not design the website. I didn't write the code, but I did I cleaned it up and made it look like an actual website. So that's it. It's gonna look weird again. It's gonna get all. Oh no! Oh, there it is. I did it. Okay. So that's IrrationalPassions.com.
Looks pretty good.
Thanks.
It's a little too
George.
white for our multicultural podcast, though.
I mean, that's fair.
Could use a little color.
Yeah. There's actually a way to do like a
Night setting.
like a background ad
Uh-oh.
that runs across the whole back of the website. There's a lot of stuff built in to like have ads throughout the website. There are currently no ads on the website. There used to be one, currently 0. There may be ads on the site in the future, but I will try and make them as unobtrusive as possible. Fingers crossed. If that does happen. But yeah, thank you to George Cruz and Logan Wilkinson for helping me do it. Thank you to Jarrett for cheering us on while he did like his real life job, hanging out and whatnot. And that's that went up Monday as intended. I'll have you know, I said a thing on this show and it happened last week. So that is go enjoy, go read articles, there's many things that posted throughout this whole week. So things worth reading. We'll go over them once we get to the real show. There you go. There's your that was my contribution to bonus content. How are you guys doing? How are you doing, Tony?
I'm great.
How was your first week back in Maryland?
It's cold.
Yeah, it's cold over here.
Still?
I mean, what was it? It was like 40 degrees yesterday. It was real nice. I loved it. Did you miss the cold though?
No,
Really? Not even like a little bit?
no, I didn't mind the weather in Vegas at all.
But you always said it was like a volcano, the surface of the sun outside, and you just went from being inside someplace to being inside another place and never were outside. That doesn't sound like enjoyable.
It's all right.
Okay. I mean, I'm just like, listen, I'm trying to glass half fully over here. Also,
You can hang out with Alex, maybe. Still haven't seen him.
listen, man, I had a busy week in my defense. And y'all didn't want to hang out before the podcast last week.
Damn, throwing that shit back.
It was mostly Scott. It was Scott's idea to wait until after the podcast. And then we had like a really great show that lasted for 3.5 hours. Trevor Starkey also in our live chat, very upset that he's going to have to bring warm clothes to Maryland when he comes here. Is it warmer down there, Navashin, in Virginia?
It was like 80 something today.
It was 70 something today for me when I left work. So I don't know.
But it's been cold mornings, but like eventually just get hot. So.
Typically, we have about the same climate. Virginia and Maryland are about the same, maybe a few degrees different. Sometimes if it's raining there, it'll be raining here in like an hour and a half.
Right.
That's how close we are, heart and soul wise. But yeah, I don't know. I can't. I do not miss heat at all. Anytime I visit my mom, I'm just like, nope. Dude, that's a wet heat. It's a different thing. So I guess I don't know. What I'm saying, Tony, is
drive again.
That I don't know.
I was just thinking about that. Like, just to go with your
I don't know if my car
friends
could survive that drive again.
I mean, just an in general thing. Like, just go with your best friends and just like do that again.
They want to. We'd have to take Damien's car. His car is the most recent. It's the 2016. So, and he's always complaining that something's wrong with it. So the timing has to be right. But we want to do it for sure. Drive to Florida and back. No. He got rid of that when our house blew up.
I missed that.
Not related, really. He just got a car after that.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I must have missed that story.
Yeah, it was like a brief story. It's like, hi, I got a PT Cruiser, and it's like, well, you had a choice of a car, and you got that, and then I give him shit about it all the time. That's all. How's life, Nabashin? How are you doing?
Today wasn't that great, but actually this whole week has been all. I don't know. Just living each day. I guess that's the best thing I could say about.
Just living day to day, you know. I today was like started bad because I slept the worst I've slept in a long time last night, and then it got better, and then I just like I had my lunch and I came back with just like a splitting headache, and it just got worse and worse from that, as like also the fact that I didn't really sleep that well last night just slowly set in, and now I've got like some things going on with Extra Life that I have to figure out. It's just like stress and very tired. But sorry, I'm here. I'm hype. It's IP350. Tony's here.
Here.
Tony, I need your hype. What are you hype about right now? Give me
I'm
some
hype
feed me
about
something.
Your blue sweatshirt.
Thank you.
I'm hype about you getting the Vegas haircut at Extra Life.
No.
Mm-hmm.
That's a neo-Nazi haircut. I ain't about that life.
Wow.
That's like, yo, man. Listen. I'm just saying. A lot of alt-right people have that haircut, and I didn't mean to make it like immediately political. I just like That's gonna be my defense now for when people bring that up. Please don't ask me to cut my hair like that. That's what I'm gonna go to. So you asked for it. You brought out
in the conversation.
Yeah, you brought out the big guns, Tony, and I did too. I asked you to get a haircut. What are you talking about? I will get my haircut before Extra Life, though.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be just like mine, and we're gonna be so cute.
Are you gonna we should just get mohawks together. Let's do that, Tony.
Technically, my hair could be put into a mohawk the way that it's cut.
Could it be a mohawk or a faux hawk?
I don't know.
I don't know the technical differences between mo and faux. Are you hype about Extra Life?
Yes, it's gonna be great. I get to hug Nabashin a lot.
Yeah,
he tried to escape earlier today, and I said, "Nuh-uh, you're coming back."
Yeah,
it's true.
That happened.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that went, but there's gonna be a lot of hugging, Nabashin. I'm excited because, and we're gonna talk about it in the show, but like we did our whole Extra Life essentially announcement. There's still stuff to announce. But
is there another video coming?
There might be. There could be another video down the line. Oh, I don't think I told you. Did I tell you guys what I was told, like, what we can do for the next thing? If not, I'll tell you after the show. It's very funny.
I don't know what you mean.
Okay. I will relay a message after the show then. There's still stuff to announce for Extra Life that I'm very excited about. And still some details to hash out, but we have like
I'm a little salty that there weren't cute photos of Novish and Scott and I in that video.
It was because, I will tell you, the one reason is because I was trying to keep it under 2 minutes so we could post to the Twitter. It was 2 minutes and 11 seconds, and Twitter still let us post it. So I could have been wrong about that, but I said, Roger, can you please get this as close to 2 minutes as possible? And yeah, I mean, what we could do for the next one, if possible, we could maybe record that one all together. We'll see.
Is it going out that day?
No, it'll be.
Or are you talking about on here?
Yeah, we could do it on here. You're right, because it would have to go out a little bit before then. So, but yeah, there could be other videos coming. There will be at least one more. I can say that. And some other announcements with that. And Trevor did just tell me in our live chat that Twitter videos can now be 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So, I had 9 extra seconds, Tony. I could have gotten some cute Scott, Nobish, and Tony pictures in there. Also, to be fair, there's no picture of Scott on the internet. They don't exist.
I have a picture of Scott eating a burrito.
You do, but is it on the internet?
It's probably on the internet somewhere.
In spirit.
It's like it's like on the dark web.
It's in the deep web.
You connect the Tor, like go to scottguthier.scott.
Everyone open your Tor browsers and you'll finally be able to access. It'll be right next to like the illegal pharmaceuticals. It's just a picture of Scott eating a burrito. So yeah, I'm really excited. It was nice to put that out there. Thank you to Roger for editing that video. It was nice to like shoot a video with no intention of editing it. I'm like, I could just fuck up here and somebody else can have to deal with it.
Like that video that we were supposed to send Tony that I never did because I was dumb.
That never got done.
Yep.
Alex sent me a really good video that I will have forever.
Yeah, I did give you some gold on that one.
We still got that picture of it.
Yeah. There's also, there's the picture of me in the suit jacket as well. That's out there. That's on the internet, probably. Yeah, so I'm excited. Extra Life is going to be great. We'll kind of go through all the announcements when we get into the real show. Nabashay, have you been watching anything good?
Caught on Dragon Ball Super. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, there was like a 2-parter or something recently, right?
Yeah, it was like the thing that everyone's been waiting for Goku to fight that alien guy named Jiren. And like that's literally where all the animation's been. For the past 2 or 3 years. God, because it looked amazing as far as
the budget. It was all just saving up for that.
Yeah, it seriously looked like that. And it was a really decent fight for what it was. But yeah, the fight's still going on. So yeah, it's an interesting fight. I really enjoyed it for what it was. Other than that though, I can't really think of much of anything else I watch. I was gonna watch Blade Runner and never got around to doing that, so I couldn't watch the newer movie. I think there's one more, but I can't think about it. Someone else can talk and maybe I'll remember it.
I don't think I've watched. I watched or I listened to a lot of things leading up to the discussion we're gonna have tonight in news. Just before, I had 2 hours before we record, which I don't normally have that much time. And I was like, oh, this will probably take all the time of this will be devoted to getting news. And it's like, oh, there's no news to add here. So except for the thing that I want to talk about. So I just listened to people talk about it to prepare myself. Listen to Input, Easy Allies podcast. Those are the two. So outside of that, there's a new Star Wars trailer that came out. I'm very excited for that movie.
Looks good.
It does look good. Looks dark and brooding and moody. These are all things that I very much like.
I look forward to seeing a movie like a week or two after it comes out.
Yeah. Me and my brother Derek now have a tradition to go see Star Wars movies. Day of release. Premiere night.
Did
together.
you get your tickets already?
We didn't. I'm not worried about it though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like, you just won't get it to like the moment it happens. Like, they'll probably sold out. But like,
we'll probably get it like the week of. Yeah, you know, it'll be fine. Because like when I saw episode 7, I got it. I went to a 2 a.m. showing and I bought my tickets like an hour before. But that was like an event because like my movie theater doesn't normally do new theater start times at 2 in the morning, as you might imagine. But the first Star Wars movie in 20 years or whatever, or 15 years, is an event. 10 years. I don't know how long it's been since that terrible episode 3. So, but I'm trying to think. Yeah, I've been watching Griffin McElroy's Nuzlocke run of Pokemon Y. It's the old Polygon series that he did.
Nuzlocke
I've never
is
watched.
When a Pokemon dies, you can't bring him back, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So it's also like there are other rules to it. Like you can only catch the first Pokemon in an area that you encounter. So like if you get to Route 2, like the first Pokemon you see in Route 2, that's the only Pokemon you can get there. If you kill it, you don't get a Pokemon from that area. And if it sucks, or if it's a Pokemon you already have, well, too bad. Like, and Griffin had like some extra things on top of that, so he plays only in set mode, not in switch mode. Meaning, like every time you knock out a Pokemon in switch mode, you have the opportunity to switch out your Pokemon, and it tells you what they're going to send out next. In set mode, it doesn't, and it just keeps rolling. So it makes it harder. You can't use healing items in battle. But held items are okay. And every time he beats a gym, he has to wonder trade one of his team that beat the gym. Which is really funny. So I think I'm like on I finished episode 5 of that. Body count is starting to stack up. And yeah, so that's like been a weird series that I've started watching, but it's very good. I love me some Griffin McElroy. Those are some good boys, those McElroy boys. So, anything you've been watching, Tony?
No, actually, nothing at all.
Really?
Yeah, I've been a pretty busy week. Just doing regular stuff, getting like state things organized,
Getting situated.
Yeah. So
Living your
it's
life.
been, but I'm trying to think if I did watch any. I caught like two episodes in the last season of Smallville because it was playing on the TV here. But other than that, yeah, that's it.
All right. I'm trying to think. There's like a new Netflix show about serial killers that I really want to watch. Cameron Abbott's been tweeting about it. He's a big fan, and I saw an ad for it early last week, and I was like, "Oh, this looks fucking dope. This looks like my jam, if I may." But I'm also like saving myself for. So here's the deal. Let me tell you, Nobshin, things that are going on in my life. October 27th.
Okay.
New Ninja Sex Party album.
Right.
Super Mario Odyssey.
Do you get it that day?
Yeah, there's a digital code they send out.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just the album. All right, sorry.
So I probably won't get the physical one for a couple days after, but
right.
I will have the album that day. So new Ninja Sex Party album, Under the Covers Volume 2, up for pre-order now. You should go get it. They're not paying us to advertise for them. I just love them so much. Mario Odyssey. And Stranger Things Season 2.
That's right.
And like, for people who care, Wolfenstein as well. It's a big day, man. Just across the board. A lot of stuff is going on. Oh yeah, Assassin's Creed as well. Shit. That is also an interesting and good-looking video game. The difference is that I would like to play Assassin's Creed Origins, but I know I just say that about every Assassin's Creed game. Somebody has to. We don't have Evan here anymore. Evan Wall somewhere is probably going to play Assassin's Creed Origins.
But will he?
That's actually a really good question. I don't even know if Evan plays video games anymore.
I don't think he signed it in a long time.
Yeah.
Huh?
What's he doing? He's flying planes, living in his mansion in the West Indies, you know. Somewhere out there. So yeah, that's next Friday. Shit, that's a week from today. Fuck. I'm stressing now because I'm worried that I won't have enough time to play Mario Odyssey before the podcast next week. I'll play a little bit. Yeah, but because I'll probably get home from work around 5:30 or 5 o'clock. 5 if I'm lucky. I'll have maybe a couple hours to sink into it. I'll have to get the Google Doc ready Thursday night. I'll have to prepare.
You know what is coming out though?
What?
Destiny 2.
Yeah, that's still out, man. Oh
It's
shit,
coming
that's
out on
coming
PC.
Is that coming out on the 27th?
Tuesday.
Okay, Tuesday. Say that's too much in one day. That's the 24th, right? So, are you going to be there day one, Tony?
Maybe.
Okay.
We'll see.
I'm curious. I wonder if Scott's going to get that.
I think he is.
I don't know if you've completely sold him is the thing. We'll have to.
I mean, how much can a man such as Scott truly be sold?
It's true. Scott is like one, the most frugal human being in the world, and two, you can't sell Scott on anything, except for I think I might have convinced him to play Cuphead, maybe.
The game's real good, so it's worth it.
Yeah. I'm very excited to play Cuphead with people. We should play Cuphead together, Nabashin, because I feel like we're going to be the best at Cuphead in that way, because we'll have played the most.
Yeah, if you put it by those metrics, sure, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like we're going to be bad at Cuphead because, like, you know, we're just scraping by the skin of our teeth every year, but I think that's going to be good.
Tony.
Yeah.
It's like I kind of want to ask this, but it's kind of shitty to ask. But like,
What?
are you gonna get Danganronpa for it this year?
Yes.
Because like I said, if you weren't, I will literally buy it for you.
I'm gonna get it as soon as I possibly can. I have one, time to play it, two, can make it work for my my situation. But
yeah, that was the whole reason. I was like,
do you want to borrow Danganronpa, Tony?
I mean,
I have
if it means I get to physically see you in person, I'm down.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I want to see you, Tony. Wait. What about Nier?
I also need to play Nier.
Yeah.
That's something I've been wanting to play, but I haven't had the opportunity to do that either. I think that came out at the same time as Horizon, Zelda, and one other game.
Yakuza.
One other game came out right after Persona 5.
Yeah.
So that was rough. I chose Horizon over Nier.
And you like Horizon, so I'd like
Horizon's real good.
Yeah,
still real good.
Yeah, you're the speaker for us for that, because I
know
if I could get to that before the end of the year.
Make up
Guys,
November,
it's worth finishing that game because it's so much more than its open world.
I know. I
think the open world is the weakest part of Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, which is weird because I don't think the open world
and it's not bad.
Yeah,
but the story and all that is so much better.
Yeah.
But yeah, those two, Danganronpa and Nier, are games that I definitely want to dig into sooner rather than later.
I have them physically, so I can lend them to you.
Word
up, homie.
Word up. Word to the home slices.
Yeah, I didn't mean to put you out like that. I was just
no.
Just like,
fine. I just got it's more a time issue for me. Like I can't justify buying a game that I might spend an hour with and then not be able to play anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it is. That it took me 47 hours to beat Danganronpa.
Yeah, I want to. I loved the first two games of Danganronpa that I played, and I do want to play that. I don't have time.
Are we gonna make the pact now to make Danganronpa V3 the game of the year?
Right here, right now.
Right here, behind Scott's back.
The game of the year?
No. It's Persona 5. We're doing that behind Scott's back as well, but that's fine. I can live with that. All right, that's it. That's all I got. Let's
I mean, the real game of the year this year is Super Mario Maker, but
yeah.
Here we are.
Shit, we should do some Super Mario Maker shit for Actual Life.
I'm down.
An excuse. Break out that Wii U.
We're gonna play the Rikert levels.
Okay, I'd be down for that. I'm gonna appeal Logan, who's watching right now, and we don't have to do this on stream. This is just me to Logan
it could
right
just be
now.
set up.
No, I'm not saying the Super Mario. This is a separate thing.
Oh.
And I know you're gonna hate this, Tony, but like I said, it doesn't have to be on stream. It's just something.
Why am I just gonna hate it? What?
Oh, you will. It's something I would like to do with Logan, and maybe we can do it like right after we play Cuphead together as like a.
So what you're saying is that I'm just gonna be really jealous.
No, you won't be jealous. I promise. Logan Wilkinson, we should play Yoshi's Woolly World together.
I knew it had something to do with Yoshi.
That's what I told you. Like, you're not gonna be angry at all.
Yoshi sucks, dude.
No, he doesn't. Dude,
hard pass on all things Yoshi.
I've legitimately been thinking about getting my Wii U set up again just to play Yoshi's Woolly World. That's how much I fucking love that game. Like, I need the joy that game can provide in my life right now. Oh, the music is so good. Oh, there's like this one scarf level where you're climbing around a bunch of scarves. Logan Wilkinson in the chat said Yoshi's life, Tony, life.
I mean, you can be wrong. That's fine.
I'm gonna take that as a quiet yes, and I'm so down. He says he's down. Okay, cool. I'm like so excited for Extra Life now. Everything else, even the secrets, fuck all that. Now I'm excited. All right, let's start the real show. Anybody I think I have to use the bathroom because I have a weak constitution. And then we can start recording. Just make sure you got Audacity ready and everything. I'll be right back. All right, now that Alex walked away, now I can say that me and George have only finished like 65% of these reviews. There it is. I'd be down, Logan, to drink the paint can first and then play Yoshi. Also, Cameron, we do not have actual Everclear in Maryland, so you guys are going to have to smuggle it in or ship it to us.
Yeah, you're going to have to bring it. Last year I had Danny Juarez mail it to me from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to mail me Everclear, it works. We did that.
Yeah. If you want to mail Tony the Everclear,
DM me and we'll figure it out.
Let's say I know a certain special guest that will accept nothing less than the good stuff.
The goodest stuff.
And his name is Tony Horvath.
Yeah, it's me. You're not wrong, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, we gotta... I just keep flashing back to Andrew sitting on the couch, like, keep drinking it, like, on his third glass, like, I'm fine, guys!
No, that's so funny.
He insists that he was fine, and I genuinely don't know one way or the other, but I wanted to make him stop.
It's time to stop.
It's time to stop. He said he's not letting me stop him this time. He got his ticket today.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. No more concerns there. Yeah.
So what the hell happened with the tracks last week?
I don't know.
It's just silent the second half. Whatever.
It's like your first half is fine, and then like there's a point where there's just nothing. Maybe like the USB got like unplugged is the only thing I can think of. Like half unplugged, so it was still in but not sending audio. I have no idea. I just brought the backup in for that second part. So
weird, man.
Yeah. That's why I thought it was like an upload error, but it wasn't. Oh man. Video, audio, whatever we use. Audio can be dumb sometimes. All right.
It can be dumb a lot of the time, and then it works sometimes.
Yeah. Correct.
So I've got 35 minutes.
Okay. So we'll do your games first.
Sure.
And then Namish and I can just spoil a whole bunch of stuff while you're gone. And then you'll come back and we'll do news.
Yeah, I'll try and be back as soon as I can. This was something that could not be moved.
I understand. I gotcha. Let me get this puff on.
Oh God.
Get legit ready over here. All right, let's rock and roll. You guys ready to start recording?
Yep.
All right, on one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ba-dum-bum-ba-dum-bum.
Yeah, I got some waveform going on over here.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Scott isn't here to fuck it up.
Don't bring up Scott. I miss him so much.
It's been 48 hours since we last saw Scott. No one knows if he's alive or not.
I'm pretty sure he's all right.
Yeah, considering he texted us pretty recently.
He's
I think
blowing up Novishin's phone all day, so
I genuinely feel bad.
It's not your
I
fault.
do too, dude.
It was just a really, really bad day. It was so dumb too because I was just working and because I updated my phone this morning and it was like everything looks different. I just can't quick do anything because I had to look and see what I'm actually doing, and I just literally didn't have time to actually adjust anything. So it was just really, really got to me.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bud. We still love you though. We just did it because we love you so much. In our defense.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we've done it to the opposite side
it's
as well.
It's for sure happened.
Yeah, you dropped out of the group chat, and I was like, "Yo, is Nobshin about to drop the bomb?" You're like, "I'm leaving. Irrational Passions is not for me."
350 is my last episode. This is my swan song.
And I was like, "There's no way he can leave us this easily."
No, And he didn't. He just had to get a job done.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Excuse me. It is Friday, October 20th, 2017, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 350. I am your host, Alex O'Neill, and joining me this week is Tony Horvath.
Hi.
And Brian Nobishin Jackson.
You know, it's times like these. It reminds me of the time when I went to episode 100 and we went to Alex's house and like we all started met. Oh, I already met you guys, but like we were hanging out, just chilling, and everything like that, and like we were getting ready to record, and like I was sitting right next to Evan, and Evan was like right next to me, and like he was like, Nabashin, I gotta tell you something. I was like, what do you want, Evan? He's like, I need about 350. 350? And that's when I realized Evan was like 8 stories tall and like what's the crustacean from the Paleolithic area? And I'm like, you're not Evan Wall, you're the goddamn Loch Ness Monster. And he's like, no. Okay, I'm done. That was terrible. Could have been better, but
That was so good. Don't even fucking dare sell yourself short, because you've done the 350 bit once before, like the original bit, and this is an adapted version for Irrational Passions, and I loved it. It is IP about 350, you know, give or take a couple lost episodes. We've done special like live show call-in shows and everything before for our 50ths and our 100ths. We got a lot going on right now. So I opted to just keep it simple and clean, like the way that you make me feel tonight.
Stop.
Nobshin does a bit. I want to do one. Just, you know, we're gonna have to leave at some point in the middle. So you're gonna get like a little bit of fireside chats between Nobishin and I. You're gonna get a little bit of the normal show.
A lot of it, who knows?
A lot of it, maybe. Scott's not here. I never asked Scott why he couldn't make it. He's just like, can't make the show tonight, and I'm like, all right. That's it. That's the long and short of it. So there's a lot of stuff going on in Irrational Passions world. So happy 350 to us. 350 is what, 7 years of episodes? 7 years, roughly 7 years of episodes, give or take a few. Technically, what, like 362 is 7 years of episodes, or 364? Who's counting? Not us. And in our defense, in our podcast feed, there's like 457 different items, because we do a lot of dumb shit for Game of the Year. So, we're just gonna go into it. This is gonna be just a normal show. We're just gonna have a good time, have good discussions. There's a lot to talk about. First thing I want to open up with is actually Extra Life, because today I put out a video with the help from Roger Picorni, friend of the show. Announcing kind of like what we're doing for Extra Life. We're gonna have like a big get together. A lot of folks are coming in from other podcasts and other like small websites, independent video games websites, like Cameron Abbott and Trevor Starkey, all the hosts of Input, Jarrett, Logan, and George. Roger Picorni will be coming, and a few other folks like past that, like Justin Graffius, who's been to like every Extra Life, Andrew Taylor from Fit the Gamer, and some friends outside of that, and maybe some unannounced guests coming soon. I can't heavy-handed hint at more announcements hard enough. So I'm just gonna like lean into that as hard and soft as I can simultaneously, and hope nobody figures it out.
Can I spoil a little bit right now?
Yeah.
Hideo Kojima will be here.
Yeah. Hideo Kojima reveals himself.
And he's bringing a build of Death Stranding.
Yeah, we were the first.
Yeah.
Let's not actually put that out there. The first build, the first gameplay of Death Stranding. Yeah, so it's going to be a big event. There's more info on irrationalpassions.com/extra life. which has been the hub link for that before. If you want to donate now, you can go and donate now to our page. If you would rather wait for when we do the stream, that's fine as well. We were doing it November 11th, which is a Saturday. It is the week after November 4th, the official date of Extra Life. So that's where everything lined up for us this year. So it's going to be a great time. We have like a planning doc going on. And then we're going to do some dumb shit at this Extra Life. There's some, I don't want to like spoil too much, but I do want to like throw maybe a couple of these out there.
Go for it.
Just some ideas. Some folks have thrown out there. One is, where was it? Cameron had the idea of him and I watching the first episode of Keijo, which apparently we promised to do for you, Tony.
Yeah, I have a brief recollection of that.
That sounds like something we would promise to do.
Yeah, it does.
I just don't remember it. What was the? Trevor had a really good idea. Hot pepper hot takes. Deliver a gaming hot take after consuming a habanero pepper, which I really like. I really like that. That's kind of like the antithesis of hot pepper gaming. So those are a couple ideas. There are a lot more in here. It's just like a mess of like multicolor because everyone's like trying to color code their ideas. Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, a lot of special guests coming in from out of state. It's gonna be on twitch.tv/irrational passions from noon to noon. So we're starting at 12 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday, as opposed to 10 a.m. Eastern
When's
time.
daylight savings?
Daylight savings is November 4th.
Okay.
So it is on the prime Extra Life date, which it has been for the past couple of years.
Okay.
So we were doing it. We're not doing 25 hours by accident again. Which is fine. Like, we did 25 hours last year, and it was like, oh, yeah, it was a lot. But, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of events and whatnot. Now, if you go to irrationalpassions.com/extra life, you might notice that irrationalpassions.com is different. We relaunched the website with a new look on Monday, like I said we would last week, on last week's episode of the podcast. And we did it successfully. Thank you to George Cruz and Logan Wilkinson for their help with that. Still work in progress, still some things to tweak and change and update. I've been told that not all of our reviews have been converted over, but just most of them have. And it looks really good. We did like I did a walkthrough of it during the bonus content, just kind of showing off some of the slick new features. And I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of the work we did with it. And it allows us to do a lot of cool things and make articles look more feature-like going forward. And I think that's an overall plus. Other things to look out on the website, if you're going there, there's a new opinion piece up on Ghost of Miami, which is a visual novel that George Cruz plays, and he talked about how Latino characters have taken center stage in it and how he kind of related back to that. My review of Destiny 2 is up, which you can read now. And there's a new episode of Input up as well about Visceral Games and Naughty Dog's work environment, one of which we will be touching on later in the show tonight. And if you missed it, Derek Green's review of Hob is up as well. So, plenty of stuff up on the site. Go take a look, explore things. Look, some of the older posts, depending, have been updated to the new visual format as well. Like my Breath of the Wild review has been updated. Logan's For the Love of the Game Rocket League piece has been updated. And some other things have been updated to be more along the lines of what you'd expect. So, with the new format of the site. Our new logo is also finally live. I've had it, like, pretty much the smaller version of it done for, like, months. And it's on Twitter and YouTube and everything. So, it's all out there. Looks good. I think it looks really great. I'm very proud of it. It took a lot of work. I was up until, like, 5 in the morning on Sunday working on it. And I think it was well worth it. So, go check that out. I think that's it for housekeeping. Unless any of you guys have anything. Happy 350, guys.
Happy 350.
The quietest little happy 350.
Is this like the golden anniversary for us, or?
Yeah, is this our golden year? Or are we in our?
Is that episode 500?
I don't know. 500 is 10 years though. That's like 7. It's weird because we're like 7 years in. We are now like closer to 10 years than we are to 0 years. So yeah, we've been doing this for a long time.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
Weird how we still suck at it.
Yeah, it's like we're so bad. So
yeah,
we would have thought we would have gotten better like around like maybe 100, 120, but no such luck. I'm getting word in our text message thread that like Scott Guthier might be joining us during this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That's the subtext of his message of how far into the show, how far in are we?
Yeah, or he's just making like a crude sexual reference.
Yeah, that could be a very crude sexual thing. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
All you have to do is talk about a sex thing, and Scott shows up.
It's true. That's how you bring Scott into any conversation. Hi, Scott.
Hey.
Let's record.
I know. You ready, Scott? Are you ready to get in on this?
Yeah. So 3, 2,
Okay.
1. All right, you're gonna sync it with that.
What? I can't do that. Are you?
All right, you ready?
Though I'm ready. Yeah. Now I am. 3, 2, 1.
All right, we're good.
Did you do it? Hi, Scott.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
Happy 350, Scott.
Yep. Did you get the sound clips earlier?
I did, and I'm excited to play our congratulatory sounds to throw out the show. I really didn't. It's a momentous occasion. Now the boys are back in town.
Yep.
Let's talk about some video games.
Only 10 minutes.
Tony, since you're gonna have to step out in a little bit, why don't you tell me what you've been playing?
Okay, so I've been playing a game called Osu.
Oh God, how is it, man?
It's great. It's fucking great. It's an excellent game.
How
Griffin
like
streamed it this week?
Huh?
That's a Griffin streamed it this week.
Did he?
Yeah.
How much Osu do you play in a week, would you say? Now.
A couple hours, I guess. It kind of depends. If people like want to play, because I have a couple friends who like actually play. If people want to play, we'll play for a while. But otherwise, like I'll pop on and play a couple things if I've got a couple minutes, and it's easy to pick up and put down in 2-minute bursts. So that's kind of where I am with it. I just I will sometimes settle in for a longer session, but most of the time it's like 10 to 15 minutes, or like I'm doing that at the same time as I'm doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing with Osu, like when you get to the point that I'm at with Osu, you can't play for so long or you will hurt your hands. Because like I don't know.
Because you're so pro, you play on such a high level.
I'm not that
skill.
good. No, I'm decent at the game. But like I couldn't play for more than like an hour and a half or something, where my hands would start to hurt, and I'm not down for like carpal tunnel and stuff. So
you're not trying to get carpal tunnel too young.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you're an old man for that.
Yeah, I'm up to about 40 hours of actual like pressing buttons in a song, not including like time that the game is open, picking a song and all that, but 40 hours of straight gameplay for Osumania. And I've hit over 2 million keys total in that time.
Jesus.
So that's about where I'm at.
I'm surprised it's not more.
Yeah.
Actually, like
weird.
I recently downloaded a like keys per second tracker thing that I can just program in the 4 keys that I use, and it will count how many times in the window of the song I press each key, and then my keys per second as a graph throughout the song, and it'll show you like your max keys per second, your average keys per second, just like and a lot of the time, like a 2-minute song is like 2,000 keys. typically, probably on average, yeah, it's about 2,000 keys for a song like that. So it kind of is what it is. Like I have how many total plays? I've played 2,128 songs.
Okay.
So and finished them. It doesn't count if I don't finish the song. Like if I play it and then it hit restart if I mess up or something like that. But yeah, so I don't know. That's about where I'm at with it. I play a bit. It's not like something I'll play for hours every day.
Okay. It's good. I'm glad we got our like annual OSU check-in.
Yeah. I'll play a little bit. I'll see if I can play a little bit on stream at Extra Life or something.
Yeah. Finally, people have like a visual context of this thing that you're playing.
I gotta practice though. I can't look like a scrub.
Sorry, I think you're pretty good. So even on your worst day, you're at least 6 times better than I am.
Oh, you're gonna play too at Extra Life. So
God, no.
Yep, that's part of it.
No. There's somebody like in our Extra Life planning doc said that I could bring Rock Band. I'm like, I'm not.
Oh, that was Plank Band.
Plank.
Okay, I'm not setting up Rock Band. It's just like it's a Rock Band is 15 minutes of setup for about 3 minutes of satisfying gameplay. And I'm like, all right, cool. I did my thing. What else have we been playing, Tony?
So I downloaded this mobile game. That's actually pretty cool. It's called Idle Pouring, which is a Ragnarok online offshoot that is an idle game. And it's fucking good. Like
now,
for an idle game,
as in IDLE.
Yeah.
OL.
No, IDLE. Okay. Idle Pouring though, like, oh man, that'd be good too.
See my confusion of like, is it about like anime idols?
Yeah. It's like have you ever played like Clicker Heroes or something like that?
Yeah,
it's like that where you fight enemies, and then if you beat a boss, you can go on to the next level. So I'm on floor 204. You go in and your character will automatically use skills in an order that you put them in, and you learn skills as you go. And try and get better gear to increase your power level so you can do more damage and sustain more damage to be able to beat basically the DPS check that is every boss. And sometimes you'll have to put specific skills in a specific order to like counter the boss's charge attack that'll one-shot you, stuff like that. And otherwise, like, it's super chill. You just go in, you can do that. It's got a guild system, so you can join a guild and then participate in guild wars. I haven't done one of those yet. I think there's one happening tonight in the guild that we're in. Scott and I joined a guild with a gaming community that we played games with years ago.
So I have this game as well.
Wait, is it the Mine RP community?
No. It's
it was
Will, Scott, and I used to play with these guys.
I think I was in there for Guild Wars 2, and I think Tony joined for WildStar afterwards. And
okay.
So and then these are the old WoW guys. The
folks that would like jump from MMO to MMO with you guys.
Yep.
Okay, I remember that.
Yeah, it's they the guild leader from there saw me log into Black Desert Online on Steam and messaged me because she had just picked up the game. And when you pick up Black Desert Online, you have a lot of questions because the game doesn't teach you anything and there's way too much going on. So she reached out to me to see if I could teach her what the fuck was going on. And so I joined her Discord and we were chatting, and she mentioned this game to me and asked if I would play, and here I am.
And here we are.
Yep.
And then she was like, "Get Scott," and I was like, "Already on it."
Speaking of like idle games, did I ever tell you that I like deleted PewDiePie Tuber Simulator off my phone?
Good.
Like months ago, because I was like, I don't know if I want to directly or indirectly support this person.
Yeah.
I also I don't check Notice Me Senpai anymore because it's basically just a reminder of how empty I am in my life. So I don't do anything on my phone.
Didn't that game die?
Yeah, they discontinued. They don't update it anymore. So I still have it though, so I can always have it and it won't delete from my phone.
Okay.
Because I think it was removed from the App Store. But I recently re-downloaded Super Hexagon on my phone just in
that game's good.
mobile phone tangent because that game's good. And so
I'm not a fan of that one.
that's like all I got, man.
Whatever, Scott. You just hate fun.
Scott does hate fun. I can confirm that Scott hates fun. Scott, if this is also a tangent, if you can say on air, what did you have going on tonight? That you didn't make it? It's not like your brother's birthday or anything, right? I didn't like tear you away
Almost.
from the family. Okay.
No. It is.
This is my
This
dad's
is one of
birthday,
my brother plays rugby now.
Oh, okay.
College. This is one of his most important games of the year.
Okay, so nothing important. Got it.
So get this.
All right.
We switched to Friday when he got moved from the Team B to Team A, which was from Saturday games to Friday games. Same week.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, Scott.
It's fine.
I fucked you on that one, didn't I?
Not really.
Okay.
I was only ever going to go to 2 or 3 games, but now it was really only that one game.
Mm-hmm. That's important. I get it.
I mean, at least rugby's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah.
It just doesn't stop.
Yeah. Rugby is a more active sport than, say, baseball, which is boring to watch.
No.
In my humble opinion.
Nicole,
I like
want
baseball.
to know what your brother, what position your brother plays, Scott.
He was, for this particular match, he was subbing in far wing. I think that's how you say it.
I'm going to say I don't know what that means.
But all the way, there's a front push line. I also forget what that line, and there's like the defense line. You know, they're unlike football; they are on the field at all times.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yeah, he was defense line all the way off to one of the sides.
Oh, okay. Yeah, outfielder. No, I'm just kidding. I would bet in rugby you're still hitting somebody at some point.
Well, it's kind of weird. The defense team still kind of gets the ball, just not as much.
Okay. I can get behind that. Yeah, that game seems interesting. I've only like watched rugby I think like twice.
Yeah, I
I
believe.
had no idea what was happening, but I was enjoying it.
Yeah, I believe the reason why it's not so popular is because all the players die.
Yeah, that'll do it.
You know how football players get knocked out for a season? And they get injuries
they
like
get
all the time.
like 3 concussions a week.
Rugby's 10 times worse
That's not good.
because they don't pad, and
they
they collide about just as hard.
Yeah. No, yeah, that'll do it. Well, I'm glad. You made it to the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, the game started at 6 and ended 7:45.
Did he win?
No, that was close, but no.
Okay. It was a good match. All right. I'm sorry, Tony, for derailing you.
That's okay.
PewDiePie and rugby. Anything else?
I'd say those were worthy.
Okay. Any other games, Tony?
So Black Desert Online.
Yeah.
Played that.
Still all encompassing.
Yep.
Still making Scott check in for you.
No. I have my
He's
tower.
had his
and
computer
everything.
for a while now.
Okay. Make sure.
I can't remember. I've been on a show from here. Yeah, all with my PC before. So yeah, we're good.
Okay.
But yeah, so it is what it is. It's Black Desert Online.
Yeah. We've gone deep into that rabbit hole enough times.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I mean, I could tell you a short anecdote about Black Desert if you like.
I mean, if you know what, if you find value in it, I want you to share it.
I mean, very little, but
Okay.
all right, sure. So this week in Black Desert Online, the Halloween event started.
Oh God.
Which essentially just means that they released a bunch of new things that you can buy from the cash shop, like new costumes and stuff. And then there are a couple things, like there's an extra boss that you can do in the game that's like a crazy wicked witch that you have to fight. But with that, there was this one outfit that came out, and I was like, yo, this looks really good. So I put a notice on it on the in-game marketplace because I ain't gonna spend money on that shit. And I was able to acquire one and then recustomize my character to look good with this outfit. And ever since I did that, I get people whispering me all the time that are like, please upload the template for the character that you made because it looks way too good. And I'm very flattered by all those people that are like, yo, your virtual character looks like you spent a lot of time on it. And I'm like, I did. So
Very proud of my sweet, sweet child.
I also like learned how to take good screenshots in the game this week because there's a way to do that because you can take 8K screenshots in Black Desert Online.
Whoa.
And I figured out how to do that, and I figured out how to like apply the filters and like fix how it focuses on you.
Are you saying Black Desert Online best photo mode 2017?
It's a decent photo mode. There could be more to it, but it is good at making good photos.
You best believe that's on the list.
But that's just because the game looks good in general.
Okay.
So.
It is a very good looking game.
Anyway, so yeah, my Black Desert Online character is fucking hot. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Would screenshot an AK again.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'm proud of you, Tony. You put that time in.
It took like 2 hours to make them though.
Fair enough. Scott, what's up? What's on tab, buddy?
Not a whole lot.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, the newest thing I have is also that idle game Tony's been playing.
Okay. Are you digging it?
Yeah. It's
is there like an aesthetic for this game? Not like I'm trying to picture.
I mean, like the only real aesthetic is a. I'm just gonna have to say anime. That's it.
Okay.
That's really all I can say about it. As far as the aesthetic, but no. The draw for idle games is always which buttons are you clicking and why.
Yeah. Are you hitting that score
and
multiplier?
the interesting part about this. The what?
No, never mind. It was
the big interesting one about this one is when you hit a boss, instead of doing something in clicker heroes, as in like setting up an auto clicker and then you're hitting a button so it clicks a million times for you, and instead you're changing around a skill set to fit the boss.
Okay. What's it called again?
Idle pouring.
That's a little on the nose.
P-O-R-I-N-G.
Okay. It'd be really funny if it was idle boring.
Oh,
nice,
snap.
got him, sick bird.
If you're trying to play this game actively, yeah.
It is definitely. I would describe this aesthetic as anime. Good job, Scott. I just wanted to like have a point of reference. I like that the logo for the game is just like a big pink slime with a handprint up against it.
I'm pretty sure it got hit with a hammer.
All right. Maybe it's a hammer shaped like a hand. Or a ham, if I may. And I'd like to point out it is idle pouring. I don't know what the
Ragnarok Online. But
okay.
Yeah,
but it's a lowercase o. It's very confused. They need to get on the brand name is what I'm saying. I'm very confused. Nothing else, Scott?
Nope. Not really.
I want an update. Last week's podcast, we might have convinced you to pre-order a Switch.
Right. So what ended up happening is that Switch was around $350 for the pre-order.
Mm-hmm.
And basically the whole bundle thing was so you could get a discount on a carrying case.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I didn't want to spend an extra $50 for something that I had to throw away because I don't have anywhere to put it.
Wasn't it $50 because it included Mario Odyssey?
No, it's because it included the carrying case in my eyes.
Oh, okay.
It's like you save $40 or something like that.
But
the Switch is
garbage carrying case.
Yeah, I don't want the carrying case.
Yeah, I'm not like Everyone's got Switch carrying cases, man.
He's like, I don't want it.
I'm not a big like. It's like a totally again tangent, but it's just like me personally. I don't see the value in spending $35 on a plastic sleeve for my Nintendo consoles.
That's a very expensive piece of plastic. You're right.
It is. It's just it's weird. Like I don't know. I have a laptop bag and I feel comfortable putting it in that. If my laptop's safe in there, I can probably put a Switch in it and be okay. I have an update. I have a story as well. I went to a Target this week because my brother went to said Target to buy a Super Nintendo Classic, bought one, but wanted to get one for his girlfriend, and they would not sell him another one. So he called me on my lunch break at work, and he's like, I'm debating on whether or not to go home, change my clothes, go back and buy another one, or to make you buy one. I'm like, I don't have the money available in my bank account. You have to give me $80 to do it, and I will do it for you. So he did. I went back. He did not have any more NES Classics. He ended up getting it like yesterday or whatever, so it was fine. He just wanted to get one for himself and for his girlfriend, which is sweet. And he didn't want to steal mine, which I appreciate. But when I went to the Target, they did have 6 Nintendo Switches.
Which one is that?
More than a few Nintendo Switches.
The one closest to me, Scott, in Columbia.
Right,
Yes,
the only Target that I would know around here.
Yeah, it'd be the only Target around. I can't think of another one. So they might still have them. You can call ahead and see if you can grab one. I should have
When
told
did you go?
you, Scott. That was Thursday.
You should have.
Thursday or Wednesday. I think it was either Thursday or Wednesday. I don't remember. So it was either a day or 2 ago. So.
Yeah, if it was on a Wednesday. Sorry, if it was on a Tuesday or a Thursday, then yeah, I would have been. I'm coming over right now.
Yeah. So that was my first time ever seeing them out in the wild. So. I go to Best Buy relatively frequently. They've never had them in stock. So.
Yep, that is. I should stop expecting them to be there.
Yeah. So are you still on it, Scott? Are you still going to try and get it for Odyssey?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in. I'm invested in this plan.
Well, I mean, out of all the consoles, the Nintendo Switch was the one I wanted to get.
Yeah.
The one that you're, yeah.
I don't know games that you want to play. Yeah, no, I got you. All right, that's it for Scott's video games.
Pretty much.
Let's do you want to go, Nabshin? You want me to go? We both got a lot. I think. I feel like we both have a lot. I haven't actually looked at your list, so I don't know. I assume you finished a game that I want to talk about. That's why.
No, I did not.
Okay. All right. Well, that changes things. You want to go first then?
Well, you can go first.
I finished Metroid: Samus Returns. Perfect. It's wonderful. I loved it. Just great topper to. I'm like it. It's the same thing I talked about the first time I talked about on the show. It's like, man, they had it in them to make a great 2D Metroid with 3D graphics this whole time. Why didn't they just make more of these? But I got one, so I can't be too upset. It's super great. If you get like 100% completion ending, it outlines the story, like the spoilers, because this is a known thing, because this is a remake of an old game. The Chozo made the Metroids. Big cosmic twist. The Chozo being the species that raised and nurtured Samus to be a bounty hunter, gave her the power suit and all that. They were the ones that created the Metroids, because there's like this parasite on that home planet, the SR388, of these X parasites. Ends up when the Metroids go extinct, X parasites start taking over that planet, and that's what the story of Metroid Fusion is about. Very interesting. There's like a nice little nod to that at the end of Samus Returns. Very good. And there's, if you get the 100% completion ending, apparently it shows you like this is what the story of the Metroids was and where they originated from, which I think is cool. So they added just kind of like an actual visual version of that instead of like just in message logs and lore and whatnot. But yeah, that's a great game. I got like 97% completion because I went back and I tried to get as much as I could. I wasn't like too worried about actually getting 100%. I didn't want to bring up a guide or anything. So I just kind of ran through and got what I could get. But that game, phenomenal. If you like Metroid, it is worth breaking your 3DS out to play that game. I will say that. It's one of the best Metroidvanias I've played in the last couple of years. And there have been a lot of really good ones. So, God, I don't even remember when I played. Tony, when do you have to duck out? Like right now, right?
Ish.
We beat the Destiny raid with our group.
We did.
It was great. There's a stream of it.
Rat.
It's on YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah, that boss died.
That boss for sure died. And as we learned, that was a run.
Mm-hmm.
Very exciting. And thank you to everyone that we got that group back together like 4 times to attempt that raid 4 different times, and we did it together like a family. And Tony wants us to do the prestige raid, and it's not going to happen.
Doing it. Fucking doing it. Fuck you, Alex.
I played a little bit more.
Everyone
Cuphead.
enjoyed the raid, by the way?
This time through, yes. There were still a little bit of frustrations on the final boss, but for the most part, we had a good time.
Okay.
We did it all told in 3.5 hours. And the first hour and a half was everything but the boss. So it took us 2 hours on the boss. But again, that we had not finished it before. We got so close like 2 times. We even got to essentially there's like a damage check to make sure you're high enough level at the very end. We got to that once, but it like glitched out. So close. And then we had to do it again, but we ended up beating it. So
Yeah, is that did it? I've been. It's been a while since I heard about the raid, but but I know like initially it seemed glitchy. I thought they like ironed that out by now.
it is like consistency wise, it is definitely a lot smoother now for sure. Like versus that first run, like way smoother overall. There's still some weird stuff that'll happen, but it happens. So you can't always fix it. There are exploits though that have kind of cropped up, I think, with them trying to fix it. So like the folks that did the Prestige raid, which is the hard mode version of the raid, essentially, actually used an exploit. The world's
Is Prestige is just that you die once that'll be it or something?
No, Prestige is different now. So there's essentially 1 or 2 changes to every single section of the raid, and then kind of like a change throughout the entire raid. We'll probably talk about it on the Farm to Tower that's coming up, but a couple of things to keep in mind. So with Prestige raid, everyone's got a revive token, meaning as long as you have your token, you can revive someone. In the Prestige version, if you die, you lose your revive token, which sucks. So essentially, if the first blood, 2 tokens gone, right? Because that person loses it and somebody has to use theirs to revive them. In like, for example, the gardens, which is like the stealth section of it, instead of 6 patrolling dogs in that part, there's 8.
Okay.
That's would be one. Or like in the gauntlet, where like you have to have 2 people kind of running a racetrack. It makes it so the people running have to be different every time. So all 6 people have to do it. And the most brutal one is in the boss, Callus. Essentially, there's a mechanic where there are 4 platforms, and you have to... The people in a different room have to call out what they see, and then you know which platform to jump up and hit an enemy on, just to kind of simplify it. In the Prestige version of the raid, when that person goes up and hits the enemy, they are swapped with a random person from the other room. And like in the other room, it's like very important, like the order of people, who calls what in what order, and like where they are. So like that just sounds like a nightmare. And like that happens 4 times. It does not just happen once; it happens 4 times. In 1 round before damage. So it is just like way crazier. And like they've done hard mode versions of the raid, but really it's either like there's an additional phase and an extra layer to a phase, or in addition to the fact if you die you can't be revived. So it's kind of a mix of challenge mode where you have to do certain things and hard mode where it's overall more difficult. But apparently, like, the world's first did it this past week, and they used an exploit to get through it. Bungie's, I think, still trying to fix it. But yeah, we did the regular raid, and I'm cool with that. I don't know if I even want to attempt the prestige raid. It just sounds very frustrating. I played a little bit more Cuphead. I beat the 2 platforming levels or one of the 2 on World 2.
Oh, World
So,
2. Okay.
yeah, I just played a very little bit of it. Because it was just like, so I was listening to our podcast. I was listening to us talk about it. I was like, what podcast were they talking about? It was our show. I was like, man, I really want to play some Cuphead right now. Because we talked some good game about that game last week. How far did you get now, Mission?
I'm still in World 3, which is like the last world, more or less. Because there's stuff after that, but like that's like the last like old world type of place. And I got like 2 more bosses before I can proceed to like the final bits of the game. Like I got one that's a robot, and I got one that's a ghost that I have to beat. But like after I beat those 2, I'll get to the last few things for that game.
Keeps real good. I still have to fight the genie boss and the bird, the woodpecker.
The one that's in the birdhouse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, did I beat the... I did beat the dragon. Never mind. Dragon boss was cool.
What's your go-to as far as arsenal?
I had pea shooter and the lob now, like the bubble, the lob's down, because it does more damage. And it, like, especially for that dragon fight, where he's like chasing you from behind, you can just like stay up high and lob shots right down on his face.
Yeah.
And it was good. I think it was good for the flower fight too. And then you fight the weird flower that shoots the roots out. I think that might have been World 1. So, and then I just got the second super. I don't know how I feel about it yet. It's good. Like, I like going invincible, but like that is more of a thing it's like a save your neck kind of thing. And I'm trying to get better about like using my super frequently, because obviously it's part of like the score at the end. So, and the ability I have, what do I have? I don't remember. It's not the extra health. It's not the smoke bomb.
Okay.
It's not those 2. I have both of those, but I don't use them because I just want to get all this stuff. So, you know me. Shit. Maybe, is there one that like makes you... It's not the one where you can accrue your super just by waiting.
The one that parries automatically?
Yes, it's that one. Thank you. That one's good for me. I'll let you know. My timing, my second A in the air, it's just good to be able to just jump up into something and parry it instead of having to like lob on top of it. So that one saves my neck a lot. What are you using?
So like I usually switch between like I usually always have the spray, because that's like usually good for getting up close and personal. But I usually switch between like the chaser or the homing one or whatever, and the charge one. The charge one worked really good for me as far as like knocking someone out like really fast. Like going against the Dragon Ball, so it's like it was really helpful. But you know, I had to concentrate what I was looking at, but like, you know, concentrate what I'm looking at, and then I just shoot something off, and then like just concentrate what I'm looking at, where I'm landing on again. And,
yeah, it helps you like deal with the schmuppy parts of it better,
Yeah.
I imagine, because you're just looking at yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't gotten the charge. I think I just got enough coins to get that. That one might be my jam. We'll see.
Yeah, and like as far as like charms, is always the smoke grenade. I don't know. That just like works for me when I try to like I dash a lot, so like that works out for me a lot. Just to like
I dash a reasonable amount, but I still like. I think there's still like it's just a smaller window in which you don't take damage when you're dashing.
It's more of like when you go invisible to dash at one point, like that whole section you won't get hit.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's a definitely a broader window. But I'm good about it because usually my dash is like to get around something or past an enemy, a small enemy. So it's pretty good for me for that. So that game's really good. Oh man, fuck! I love that game so much. Play more Skyrim. I'm getting all this stuff out of the way before the big ones. Don't worry. I just really I appreciate Skyrim a lot more, I'll say. The last time I really played it was like early 2012. I've learned a lot about design since then, of game design. You know, I'm not a game designer, but I can appreciate good game design now. I think on a higher level, especially because of the things Scott has taught me about shit. So like, there's like patterns and elements and like visual cues that I didn't notice before in Skyrim. The way it like kind of relays information to the player in dungeons and with traps, that is like way better than I gave it credit for. And again, like I thought it was a great game to begin with, but it's just like a new layer of appreciation. And like I'm appreciating the music more, the way some of the quests are playing out more. Like I did the College of Winterhold like side quest line, the mages side quest line. I'm like, this is actually really good. Like, damn. It like I think the production value, like the budget, definitely went toward the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood the most. Like those are the two most popular guilds in the Elder Scrolls universe. So they got like the most fantastical and longest and best voice acted, most interesting subquest lines. And I had Tony's favorite was the Thieves Guild. But I'm appreciating more about it as I go through it. And again, it was just kind of like this is my like podcast game, just run around dungeons and hit drogers and shout dragon words and have fun. Just like a mindless game.
The big issue that these games, not just Elder Scrolls, but all games of this era of this I want to say size of open world is they have all those cues, but everything else in the world that's going on tends to drown them out.
Yeah.
So
sure.
Unless you're trained to see them, you don't.
Yeah, and there's a lot of bullshit in Elder Scrolls games. There's like a lot of just flat land, so which I think is like, in my opinion, even more true of Fallout 4, and I think that's why like I think Skyrim is a bigger world than Fallout 4, but it is like it is more dense. It feels like than that. And again, going off of not a lot that I played that game, it's just like I feel like Skyrim is a better design game, and that's a bummer because I think Fallout 4 definitely does some cool things. Like the way it does interactions in dialogue, I think Fallout 4 does well and better, but because man, Skyrim's got some bad faces. Oh boy. But I think the writing in Skyrim it might be a little bit more interesting, and that could just be hindsight bias, like creeping in because like I bounce off of that game so hard. But I don't know. I'm just as like thinking about it from that perspective. And I'm not I'm not trying to shit on Fallout 4. It's not my intention. I know a lot of people really like that game. Just like it's weird because I like Fallout 3, or I remember liking Fallout 3 even more than Skyrim. But going back to this game, I'm appreciating everything that Bethesda did for it that much more, I guess. And comparing it to their most recent thing, which didn't work for me, per se. That's all. And then there are 2 Evil Within games on this list, and I played both of them. I did not finish both of them. Boy, that would have been a feat. But I did finish one of them. So I finished the Evil Within one. The original Evil Within. Which is a 2014-ass video game.
How long did that take you?
I was like blowing through it. I'm like, I'm going to beat this in less than 15 hours. It took me 15 hours. So I felt like I was like blasting past things. Like I was kind of trying to get through it, and I kept getting stuck on dumb bullshit. There's a lot of dumb bullshit in that game, which I'll talk about in a moment. But yeah, it took me about 15 hours. So two big takeaways from Evil Within. The first one. We'll get to the second one. And this is why I said it's going to take a little bit. So let me just get this out. We'll see. First, Evil Within 1, way spookier than I thought it was going to be. That is a very scary game at times. Which I guess, like, I maybe it was me that projected, like, this Resident Evil 4, like, association onto it.
Probably.
Probably, right? I feel like no one really talked about how scary that game was.
I think they said it was super atmospheric. So
It's very atmospheric, yeah. And it's cool for a lot of reasons, but it feels like a Shinji Mikami game. It feels, I guess, closest to Resident Evil 4. Mix of Shadows of the Damned and Resident Evil 4, right? Because it's not, you don't have to fucking lock your feet down to move and shoot, to shoot your gun. But it's spooky to a point. There's definitely like a hard point in the middle where it's like, yeah, we're not gonna be a spooky game anymore. It's just gonna be kind of things blowing up. And two, my big other takeaway is like, there's just some dumb bullshit in that game that is not fun.
mechanics
At all. Mechanics. I think mostly not just mechanics, but because they do switch it up pretty frequently, but there are aspects of that game. And what I mean is, the game, I'm gonna spoil some stuff.
Sure.
But in my defense, it is literally in the beginning of the Evil Within 2. So if anyone's playing that game, like, it's not really a spoiler. All of the Evil Within is not real. It doesn't take place in the real world. It takes place in like this weird cerebro mind melding machine where all these people get in these tanks and hook their brains up to a machine, and the machine has a core person. And they essentially use the machine as a network to other people's brains, their brain to other people's brains, and create a world. The machine's called STEM. I don't actually know. They never say what STEM stands for. STEM. Yeah, I'll see. Is real, right? And they use that to a pretty cool effect to essentially like change the environment on a near constant basis. Not just like abstracting the environment by like making it like buildings on the side or like cities crashing together, but like having you go from one spot to another to another to another in quick succession in a way that isn't too jarring, where like I'm playing a video game and just let me play this thing. It's like not that bad, but in a way that's like very atmospheric, like you said, Nalmashin. Apparently there is no acronym for STEM. So it's all caps STEM, but it doesn't stand for anything. So that's great. But like here's my thing. I'm all for psychological horror. I love it. It's honestly, it's the thing. The two things about Resident Evil 7 is everything that you see there is real for the most part, which makes it both scarier and not as scary in a weird way. But like Resident Evil 7 is kind of missing that like psychological, like I don't know what's real aspect to it, because it is all just real, which again is scary and not scary in its own right. But like a lot of sections of the Evil Within actually made me think of Outlast, the second one in particular, the demo that I played of it, where like you like get swallowed by a well tongue and get pulled into a school, and you're like, none of this is real, right? But you don't know for sure. So like my beef is like Sebastian Castellanos, I believe is his name. I think that's how you say it, which is a great hero name. Super unique, so I like that. Sebastian. Or Seb, as he is referred to. He's like
Seb?
literally Seb.
Huh,
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a cute nickname, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Sebastian Castellanos. That is a memorable ass fucking name. But he's like walks through a door in an open field into like a mansion on fire, and he at no point is he like, this feels like this shouldn't make sense. Like, he's at no point like questioning if what he's seeing is real. And then there's a moment where you see like one of the rudimentary STEM machines. Because again, nothing you see in the game is real. Everything takes place in this fictional mind melded world. So like you see the machine in the machine, very kind of Matrix adjacent. There's a point where like he sees a doctor like messing with one of the machines, and like finds one of his partners connected to one of them. And the doctor's like, this is what the machine does. He's like, so we're all in this guy's dream? And he just believes it. He's just like cool with it. And it's like 6 hours into the game, which feels like I'm back and forth. I'm like, I guess if I had seen 6 hours worth of crazy fucking shit, I would have believed literally anything. I would have been down with whatever. But also, you were just cool with that. You're like, all right, this explains everything. And they don't like, I don't know, apparently they kind of go more into the details in the DLC, but I'm like, I just played 15 hours of this game. I do not have enough time to play the DLC. So like that's weird for me. But it's cool because you're just kind of jumping around a lot. What's bad is there are clearly just sections of that game designed around mechanics. Like, they made an abstract horror section of the game to justify this idea they had for a mechanic, and it has no context. It doesn't fit at all. And those mechanics are bad and not fun. Like, let me see. There's like this one boss fight with a big mutated dog in like a courtyard. Where the dog runs and hides in a bush and then charges you and then hides in another bush and then charges you and then hides in another bush for about 15 minutes. And it's you just kind of like slowly strafing to the left, shooting the dog as he runs by. And then sometimes he'll just stop and swing his head and hit you and you take massive damage. And like that's the whole fight. And that was just not fun. And then they did a thing where you like get out of the courtyard and the guy, your partner that you're with is like, oh, my glasses fell off when the dog hit me. Can you run back in the courtyard and get my glasses? And you're like, sure. And then when you go back in the courtyard, the guy's like, I'll distract the dog. So he's like banging on the fence, throwing bottles. And you just run, grab the glasses, and then run right out. And it's like immediate. And it's like, what is this? Why was this in the game? And then you hand him his glasses, and there's like this cutscene. He's like, you know, it's not just about being able to see. And like Sebastian looks at him. He's like, I get it. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like, it's just like there's some really dumb shit in there. For the most part, the dialogue back and forth between characters is actually pretty interesting. It's kind of like these three police detectives in this world together, and they get separated and they have to come back together, and they get separated and they come back together. So there's a good back and forth with that. There's this section where you fight this giant boss, and like it's like a U shape, and it is a giant boss. Like he's blowing up cars and shit. And once you get to his second phase, the boss rushes you, and then it's got like this mouth eyeball, and as soon as he gets close to you, he just instant kills you, and you have to do the whole fight over again. And that's the whole fight. Like he's like either smashing his hands down and hitting you or charging you, and then he transforms in the second phase, comes up, instant kills you, like grabs, eats you, instant kills you, and like ends up that is like the whole thing for most of the Evil Within's mechanics. You're in a section, and there's probably a thing that's bigger than you, and it'll instantly kill you if you get too close to it. That's it. And I'm like, boy, do I hate things that just instantly kill you in all video games. Like, I hate dropping in ditches, like falling in holes in Shovel Knight and Mario, and like bosses that can grab you and auto kill you with one move. Like I hate all of it. I hate all of it, and there's so much of it in this game, and it's all bad. It's none of it is good. So most of it, my frustration was just getting caught in these sections where it's like, guy gets close to you and instantly kills you. I guess. Okay, well let me do this again. Start off from this bad checkpoint again, and it's like rough checkpoints because 2014. Like there is this. My frustration with like the stuff that isn't contextualized, like there's stuff that is contextualized that's really good because it has context and bearing, and it's like part of the guy's mind that you're in, like the antagonist Ruvik, whose brain you're in. Essentially, you're in his world created by his brain. He's the core of the machine, and he's like a fucked up dude. Like he experimented on people and cut open their heads, and he was the guy that designed the STEM machine, which I guess like some mysterious government organization thinks that it can benefit humanity. You know, typical horror game bullshit. I know I'm like just going at this point. I'm just like ranting, but there's payoff here. Don't worry. We'll get to the second one, which is really good. So, but like there's like a moment where you're going through the house, like the mansion that Ruvik grew up in, because he's like a rich kid or whatever. And it's really interesting, and you're learning about the experiments he did, and like they're like paintings of his family with all the faces except for his slashed out. And it's like, this is like a really cool level. Of course, it's watered down by the moment where Ruvik will randomly spawn in the level, and if he gets near you, he grabs you, and guess what? Instantly kills you. And that sucks for whatever. And like, I'll say this. So like in that mansion level, there are places where you can go and hide, like under benches and in closets. And like, oh, okay, so when Ruvik spawns, this like blue light goes out throughout the whole level, and I have to go hide. So I tried that. He goes up to where you're hiding, instantly kills you. I'm like, all right, let me hide better. Goes up to where you're hiding, instantly kills you. I'm like, all right, well, what am I supposed to do? I found that the best way to do this was to walk around in a circle around a thing in the middle of the room until Ruvik disappears. So he doesn't grab you and instantly kill you. So it's dumb. There are parts of that game that are fucking so stupid.
Overall, though?
Overall, like, it's got really great level design, really great monster design. Some of the boss fights are okay. Some of them are just, you know, that instant kill kind of bullshit. But, like, there's, like, the first time you fight, like, one of the screaming banshees, which is the lady with all the arms that comes out of blood. It's very scary. Very scary. The first time you fight her, it's a cool boss fight. The second time you fight her, not a very good one. Or it's not bad, it's just very confusing because it's dark and you're, like, running through corridors, running away from her. There are parts that are too long. The game is too long, probably. But I think the story is cool. The world they built is cool. The villain I thought was pretty good, even though he's like, you know, always crazy, but he was a good like horror game villain. The way it ends is cool. It's just like it's there's not a solid through line. It's inconsistent, which was a bummer. If it was more consistent and like there was less, like there's a part at the end you're going through the ruined city, and there are parts where you just get in water, and I'm like, all right, well, there's gonna be a monster in this water. There was, and it's gonna instantly kill me, isn't it? It did. It's like, why is this in this game? Why am I like walking through water in a city with a big fish monster? Like I just don't understand. But the end of that game is ridiculous. It's just a big monster fight, and it's super dumb, but it's pretty great. It reminded me a lot of Resident Evil 4, actually. There's a rocket launcher as well. So, so it, you know, it could have like it could have been so much better. Good news, Evil Within 2 comes out. So I'm about like.
Oh, how about this? Like before you get into that, like,
sure.
Was it worth it to go through the first game to do the second one? Do you feel?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the first game I think is worth it on its own merits for reasons. Like it is like maybe a 7 on a good day. like 6.5 kind of game.
Yeah.
But like there's so many cool ideas in it. Like the cool thing about The Evil Within is the psychological horror and thriller parts of it, where like the environment is changing and you don't really know what's happening. You know, like the context of it all, of like I'm Spain, but like there are rules within that world still to some extent, and like when a thing shows up, you got to deal with it usually, and it's like very scary and very tense. And the way that the environments tie into that are usually very exciting. Sometimes it's like, why is this here? But some of like the thriller parts of that game are really cool, and just kind of seeing how that world changes, and like they do the thing where you turn around and it's different, but they do it in a very good way, I'll say. Going into the second one, it is good to know what the STEM world is, because like right off the bat you go into the mind world. And like essentially the plot of the second game is kind of paying tribute to the subplot that you get through collectibles in the first game about Castellanos like married his partner, his detective partner, and then they had a child, and their child died in like this tragic house fire, and like his wife didn't believe that it was an accident, and then she goes missing, and that's how it ends in the second game. She leaves him a note saying like, I believe someone took our daughter, or someone killed our daughter. And then the second one starts with like, we have your daughter. It's like, oh, okay. Going right into it. And you go into Lily, his daughter, Sebastian's daughter's, she's the core for this other STEM world. So that's like the setup for this game. So knowing like what the STEM world is and what Sebastian's linked to it is and his relationship with it, contextualizes the second one in a good way. So I'm glad I knew that. And they're already kind of playing around with that same kind of design, like level design aspect of it. But the second video game is a different genre of video game, I would say. Going into it now, I'm about 4 hours into it. My thought is, boy, those guys played The Last of Us, and they were like, that's a really good video game. We should do what they did. Which is really good for me, because it's not as polished as The Last of Us, right? It's not like as well kept. The characters aren't as interesting, and it's formatted differently. It's kind of an open world game, which is weird. That's a weird thing to say, right? This
open
like
world,
linear,
like probably Alan Wake, or what are we talking about here?
Open world like Tomb Raider.
Okay.
Like, so I imagine I'm in the first area, and I don't know if I'll be able to come back to this area. There seems to be systems in place that you could, but it looks like there will be other areas to explore with linear sections connecting them, if that makes sense. But, you know, like, I get, like, there's a quest giver, there's subquests, side quests, and I can go do them or not do them if I want, and I can explore and loot houses and stuff. So the second game, the STEM world is based on a place, like a real-life place, in fiction, not actually real life. It's based on a small town. Great. Small town horror games, my jam. Called Union. Very, very good, because brains melting together. Anyway. And you're in your daughter's mind world, but like essentially the way it's supposed to work is the person who's the core is supposed to just like sustain the world for other people to come in and out of. Kind of like virtual reality. Basically using your brain as a computer. But something's going wrong, so they send you in, and some horror shit's happening. No fucking surprise. Like, I don't know, like, if the last time a STEM world was made was any indication, but some fucked up shit's gonna happen when you melt people's brains together. So, one thing I'll say, like, even if it was to save his daughter, after the shit that you see in that first game, I don't know if, like, there's any reasonable justification for ever going back into a world like that again. Because it is easily the most horrifying experience ever. But anyway, to save your daughter, whatever. So like they do the similar thing of laying out like the world changing and being kind of abstracted and altered around you, and like land masses lifting up and curving around in on themselves, or like the environment changing just in a second, in a blink of an eye. But they also did this thing where like there's way more crafting, there's way more looting. You have like a hub, you have safe houses in this open world, and in the safe houses like are members of the team that got sent in before you. And you can talk to them, and they have like dialogue options. Not really a dialogue option. It's like, tell me more about this. Tell me more about this. Tell me about this side quest. Adds to map. Like, it's not choices, but like you can then go and explore the world. And like, there's the primary mission. I'm in chapter 3, for example. There's a primary mission, but then there are the submissions and collectibles in the area, and like, I found a submission that led me to a rooftop, and where I found like a broken sniper rifle, and then on the guy's body I found like a communicator that had a log in it that was like there's a parts to fix this sniper rifle here, and I go to there, and on my way there some shit happened that I'll get to, but then you go there, you get the sniper rifle parts. Maybe there's like a really tough enemy outside the shed that I found that in, so it's like, oh cool, there's like little side quests like that, and also like actual story side quests that you're kind of like learning more about what happened that made the world go haywire. But like there's still the cool thing, so like that is all like a little bit Last of Us open worldy, because the game, like Sebastian from the back looks fucking just like Joel from The Last of Us. It's a little uncanny, and the gameplay feels more in line with something like The Last of Us, with the way crafting works and everything. It is that, and also like the first Evil Within, though, which is cool. It's a good mix of the two. It's not overtly stealing what The Last of Us was doing. But on top of that, there's like the best parts about the Evil Within, where it's like becomes like surreal psychological horror. Like, I went to a house just to explore, and like I found this lady who had written a note. It's like, in the house with me, I don't know what's going on. I left the room, and then like it started getting colder. You could start seeing Sebastian's breath, and then like this fucking and then I get teleported to like this ice room, like this like morgue. This like lady creature is walking, and on the PS controller you can hear her singing as she gets closer. On the controller, not on the screen. Very unnerving, very terrifying. And I'm like sneaking around like fucking clenched teeth, trying not to get seen by this thing. And I'm sure if I did get grabbed, I would have instantly died. But like on stealth like that, so where it doesn't feel shitty. And I thought it was better balanced and whatnot. So, and that just like randomly happened while I was exploring. And I like that. Like, I like that it plays with the environment and what you see and what's real, in addition to having kind of like the solid, better third-person shooter mechanics. And it's similar to The Last of Us also in that, like, the zombos that you're fighting are, like, really strong. And if you get, like, 2 or more of them with you, like, you're fucked. And you have to kind of, like, figure your way out of the situation. More forgiving. Like, there's way more items. You can craft ammo now. You can craft healing items. So you can kind of take care of yourself a bit better. And by just like spending more time exploring the world, you can get more parts to make everything stronger. But there are like parts where you have to get like a special rare crafting item to upgrade a gun past a certain level, or your abilities past a certain level. So they balance it pretty well. But it's very, again, I went into this game like not really knowing fucking anything about it.
Yeah.
I watched the announcement trailer again. I'm like, yeah, this is fucking, I have no idea what's happening. It's like that Reverend guy, like the black dude with the scar across his face and the cane. I still haven't seen him yet. I don't even know what his whole jive is about. And like I was like, I should watch something else just to at least have an expectation. I watched a gameplay trailer, like the one that Bethesda themselves put out. I'm like, this was just like a couple quick shots of people getting shot. That's gameplay. And so like, again, I went into this game literally not knowing any of this, that it was like open world to any extent. So that was like I was worried at first, but it ended up being a pleasant surprise. I think that's all I got. Unless you have questions.
No, like, I'm glad you just did it.
Yeah, it's cool. Like they went in a very different direction. I'll say like they're Evil Within 2 kind of feels like a soft reboot for the Evil Within. Like I think Sebastian is a different voice actor. Looks very different. Feel different. But there are a lot of really great references back to the first one that I'm glad I have context for. Especially line wise. I'm sorry I went on so long about this. I just had a lot of thoughts going through the Evil Within, and a lot of changed thoughts after seeing the Evil Within 2.
I mean, like it's because it's cool. It was like when most people like go through like when there's a new release of a game and like you just dedicate yourself like I want to know this lore, and we go back to do this.
Yeah,
sorry,
Deus Ex, man.
Yeah, Deus Ex and like 999 with me last year. You know, just like I just love these. I love the journeys of this stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. Like it is really cool to see. Like they really pivoted on what they were going to do, or what they did to what they're doing with Evil Within, without losing like the heart of what made the Evil Within the first one cool. Is still there. Like that psychological stuff is all still 100% present. It is still very unnerving. There's still like the scariest part about the Evil Within is like you have no idea what the fuck's going to happen at any given time. Because I'm like, oh, you get like there's this part in the first one where you get to this like huge environment. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna explore this for the next couple hours. Dude shows up, like throws you through a wall, and you're just someplace completely different, and you never see that environment again. I'm like, whoa, okay. So like it really smartly plays with like what you expect, using like that horror theming, and it's really cool. And I get those vibes to a lesser extent in the Evil Within 2 because like obviously like I have a map and objective markers on this map now, and I can kind of explore pretty freely. But then to give you an example, I was walking through the world, and then that creepy singing lady showed up again, just randomly. And I was like, oh God. And I started freaking out, and she started running towards me, and I started running the other direction. And eventually, like, I hid behind a wall until it, like, returned to normal. And I looked back around, and everything was back to the way it was. And I was like, I am not okay with this. So they're still playing back and forth with it. And I imagine that'll change and evolve and get more creepy as the game goes on, because I'm still pretty early in it. I've just been dicking around. But yeah, I'll say here's one last thing. There's this really great mechanic that I like. When you get to a safe house, there is a coffee maker in the safe house. And essentially the way it works is you can drink coffee from the coffee maker and it'll fully restore your health. So you don't have to like use healing items. But when you leave it, it's like, you know,
because you're in a dream world, I guess. I don't know.
Because you're a police officer and you drink coffee.
Okay.
That's like the justification for it. But like, what's cool is you would think like, oh, I can just go outside the safe room, shoot a couple dudes, get some like green gel to upgrade my abilities, go back, restore my health. No, you have to let the pot sit on the coffee maker for a certain amount of time before it recharges. So you can't abuse that mechanic. But it weird reference, but it kind of reminds me of that Xbox game. Fuck. There's a sequel to it. Not Machine Help Me. The zombie game that I really like.
State of Decay.
State of Decay, yes. It kind of reminds me of like going out, looting, and then coming back to the safe house after some time has passed. Of that kind of like rhythm. And it's, again, like I expected this to be another linear horror game, and it's just very different. And I like the mechanic of like, oh, I have to brew another pot of coffee before I can refill my health, which kind of, again, context for itself. But it's I just think that's a cool mechanic. So it's really cool. Like Evil Within 2 seems like really rad. I'll say I have a normal PS4, so it could just be me. It's very framey at certain points, which sucks, but it hasn't necessarily hindered anything, but it is more framey than I would like, let's say. I bet it runs fine on PS4 Pro, I will also say. But it's relatively minimal. The first one was super bad. There's some performance issues with that game. There is also a way to turn off letterboxing. I found out. Makes
the
the
first
performance on the first game.
Yeah.
There's no letterboxing in the second game,
Yeah.
but the turning off letterboxing on the first game makes it run real bad.
Yeah.
So I kept it on. And it was weird when I turned it off. I was like, I'm not. I don't know. They've ruined me already. But that's it. I know there was a lot. I had a lot to get out, but Evil Within 2 seems pretty good, and I would say it's probably you could probably just jump into that one because they spoil the entirety of the Evil Within 1 in the first 10 minutes of the game. So, story's a little hokey, but I'm into it. They're pulling me back in for one last job to save my daughter. It's like 7 different action movies in one premise. He's Washed Out Cop 2. God, yeah, it is all of them. That's it. We should probably take a break so we can talk about your games. Unless you don't have a lot, Nabishin.
I don't have a lot, but yeah, we could take a break real fast.
Okay, well, because we went for an hour and 20. Usually I do try and keep it to an hour. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do Nabishin's video games. We're going to have a little bit of a discussion about some news that happened. And then we'll take some questions and throw it out. So we will be back in just a little bit.
Choo, choo, choo.
Yeah, sorry that was so long. I had a lot.
You just had to keep going and going.
It's a good old Alex Talks for 45 minutes. Again, reference.
Well, I mean, you did pretty much cover the entirety of one game.
Yeah.
You pretty much
It's
just told
spoilers out the window.
Yeah, dog.
They,
I did say.
and then you went
spoilers.
through a good chunk of the second one. So
yeah. I don't know if I'll have much to add as far as like the way the second one's formatted going forward. So
I will be right back.
yeah, I'm gonna refill my water.
I'm gonna go pee.
Hey.
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 You getting ready to leave, or did you already leave for like the last few minutes?
Yeah, I was gone and came back.
Oh, okay. Are you done already?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. We're on break, so nothing much.
spilled water on myself like a child.
What a child.
Oh, look, Tony's back.
Hey.
Hi. Machine, you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Scott, you back?
So don't you rush me.
Single tear. Damien and a bunch of other people are over, so I was saying hi to them. Yo, Nicole beat Danganronpa before you.
Yeah, I know.
Sick burn.
I don't think it's a burn, but
So sick burn.
Sick burn. I talked for like 45 minutes, Tony. You missed it.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad that I missed it.
damn.
That's burn right there.
You see, our boy Danny Morris.
What?
No,
Look on Twitter.
I'm looking right now. Was it a recent tweet?
Yeah, that's recent.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh boy. He went Super Saiyan. Scott. Scott, come back to me.
Jesus, Danny.
I miss you, Scott. I like all of the different quoted retweets of the Irrational Passions Extra Life announcement. Like Jarrett's, know this, I will achieve unseen levels of mediocrity for the benefit of babies on November 11th. And like Trevor's like, I'm excited to, hang out with my boys in Maryland. And like Logan's like, it's going to be lit, y'all. Just like very different tones like across the board. Scott, come back. I miss you. I need you in my life.
Scott just never comes back. He's like, fuck this.
Fuck this show. I gotta go see another rugby game.
Another one.
Have you checked out have you checked out movies with Mikey at all?
No.
You should check it out. I don't know, like I know you're not like huge into movies. I'm sure he's got like one in his back catalog that you dig. So he did one on Emperor's New Groove actually. That's really good.
I mean, what's he about? Like, I never heard of him.
Mikey Newman used to work at Gearbox. He just like does like essays on movies, and like comes at them from like an angle, a very unique perspective, I would say.
Is he the
did
one
one
that
of-
you said like was similar to like Barris Belis, or that's where he got his inspiration from?
He's the chief inspiration for
Okay.
B-List.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say it's very similar. But he did one on Iron Giant that's actually like really good. It'll crush you though.
Dude, Iron Giant's a good movie.
Iron Giant's a great movie. I always forget that Vin Diesel did the voice of the Iron Giant.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, fun fact. Not that he talks a lot, but
It's more like robotic sound, you know? They're like, all right, Vin, can you do this one a little bit more robotic?
can you
He's like-
sound more rusty?
Can you put a little rust on this one?
You know what? If you told that to Vin, he'd probably do it.
Do you think he goes by Vin? You think like if I saw him on the street,
Shit,
I could be like, yo, Vin, what's up?
"What's
Like,
up,
you
Vinny
would-
boy?"
You would be okay with that?
He ain't no Vince Cliff, that's for sure.
I am back.
Hey, welcome back.
Hey.
All right, let's do this. Nabashin, tell me about your video games. Welcome back, also.
Yes, hello. Um,
Also, welcome back, Tony.
Hi.
Tony's here. Yeah. Continue, Nabashin.
we already talked about Cuphead.
Mm-hmm.
That was a thing.
You know what I want you to feed me.
Yeah, sure, but gotta get there.
I know.
Played Mega Man X3. Like I was like replaying that game. Like reminds me like or makes me remember like how many like different like systems were in that game. Cause like I was playing through that game and like I was like I beat all the bosses and like getting through like the final like ending levels and then like it just occurred to me I was like, oh yeah, like I'm supposed to like get a gold armor in this game or something like that. And then I realized like, oh, I just missed that whole entire thing. So like I restarted the game so I could do that. But it won't take me too long to get through that game again. But yeah, Mega Man X3 is good, but like, man, is it like bloated? Like it's like it has so much like different stuff in it. You have your heart tanks, you have your sub tanks, you have your armor pieces, and you also have these like sub chip pieces where you do a double dash or do like a multiple charge shots or your armor gets better or something like that. And then like there's also the gold armor that you can also get. There's a lot of hit stuff in that game.
In a bad way?
No, like it just feels like it's a little bit overwhelming. It takes away from a lot. It's kind of like what I feel about like I haven't played it obviously, but it's what I feel about like Shadow of War. It feels like it's just too much in that game. Whereas like like the general stuff about it is like I just enjoy from like the Shadow of Mordor. But like because I enjoy just like the general loop of Shadow of Mordor, but like seeing from previews and stuff like that for Shadow of War with like you can have your own like you can make your own fleet and like your whole like war like set up bases and go to different places. Like there's just so much in that game. And that's kind of how I feel with Mega Man X3. It's still a great game though. Still one of the better X games, but like there's like a simpler the simplicity of Mega Man X and even Mega Man X4. I feel like it really shined for that series. So
okay, it's interesting perspective having like only played the first one. So because I think the first one was like definitely like perfect balance of like stuff to do and stuff to discover and secrets to find, with also like just the way it played and being succinct in its levels and design. Save for like, man, I just don't like that last boss, but not the first part, the second part.
Yeah, you just have to stand by the edge of this.
I know, I gotta stand on the edge of the claw. Someday I'll beat it. I gotta play through the whole game again though. Yeah. And I'm not good at that game, so that'll be a challenge for me, so bear with me.
I mean, I could just bring the SNES Classic and just instantly do it there. Be easy.
I mean, I have one. I could do it.
I mean, sure.
Fine, ruin it for me. What else? What else you got?
Life is Strange Before the Storm episode 2 came out yesterday, and I had no idea until like yesterday, so I downloaded it and I just haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
That's something I need to get to.
I have to play that first one still.
One of the biggest games for me this week was Danganronpa D3, because I just finished the fourth class trial.
Yeah.
And I kind of had to take a break after that.
Yeah, man.
That was a rough one. That was the roughest shit I've seen since Danganronpa 2, and even there's a scene in the anime where it's like, yeah, that's fucking fucked up. So like the fourth class trial had really made me like to take a break a little bit. I'm generally interested to see where that game goes now, but like in multiple ways, obviously, but like it's like yeah, it was just that was like, yeah, I had to stop for a good minute because that really bummed me out.
Yeah. It
you were saying sorry.
No, I was just like, no, I totally understand, because when I hit there, it was to the point where I was like, I could stop forever now, or I could go to the end, and that's why I was saying like once you hit like the fourth or third trial, it's like rhythm don't stop. Yeah, it's weird because so I talked to George Cruz briefly about it while we were working on this site, and he did the first chapter, and he's like it's not grabbing him. He loved the first two, and I'm like, dude, I don't know, like I don't like if that first chapter didn't hook you, I don't know how much. I would say you should try and play through the whole game if you can, but because I think where it goes is definitely in the theme of Crash or not. Sorry, I was looking at the YouTube page and it said Crash Bandicoot. So in the theme of Danganronpa, not Crash Bandicoot. It's a Danganronpa-esque Danganronpa game for sure. But yeah, it's like I think if you bounce off that game at that first trial, like if it doesn't hook you there, I don't know how much it's gonna do for you. What do you think? Having done 4 now.
Yeah, like just what you said. Like, I mean, like, because like the first trial of Swiss is like, it's not nothing new, but like it's still for that game, just like something that's like really cool and really impactful. I feel, and yeah, that doesn't really do it for you, and like I said, like. There was a general like playing through that game where like I just don't know until like pretty much the end of like the class trials, like who it could possibly be. So like they always have me guessing, and like where in like 1 and even 2 was like it's pretty obvious who it was at certain times. Like even in the 4th trials, like it's painting to be you again because it's always they always paint out to be you, but it's not you because obviously it's not you. But like, and it's like it could be someone, it could be you, but like no, that obviously it's not you either. So who could it possibly be? And it was like, well, fuck it. Like this is like I'll just tell you what it is, and it's like, wow, that's okay, that's terrible. So
yeah, and then it just gets more and more depressing. Especially like, oh god, yeah.
I need a yes or no answer.
Yeah.
Ben Moore said like the ending of Danganronpa V3 was like one of the craziest endings he's ever seen. So just yes or no.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, that 4th trial, I was anticipating you getting there because that was like, yeah, that was one of the bigger moments for me there. Just like the tactics there are just cruel, man. Like as far as like playing through 3 was probably the most emotional experience for me. As far as like the roller coaster ride, since the first one at least, because the first one was new then. Yeah. The second one, you kind of go in with that expectation. They play around with it, but you kind of knew where it was going. And then the third one is just like up and down, up and down. It's a lot of downs, a lot of bummers in that game. But it's very good about what it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. That game's fucking crazy. Just finish it because we got to talk about it, dude.
For sure. Like, I think I do. I think we do need like just to have like just a general chat about those 3 games.
Yeah, I just want to talk about it. Yeah. We don't have to do like the formal spoiler cast. I think we should record it in some capacity, but I just want to have that conversation with you.
Yeah,
especially about this game because it's just, and you'll see because like what Ben Moore said, it's fucking crazy. And I don't want to lead you into it too much. Is the thing. So.
I think there's something else other than South Park I played this week. I can't remember what it is. But the other big game I played this week because like that one like literally like that one took me out of it. That's in a bad way, but it was like I had to stop.
You need a break, man.
Yeah, so like South Park conveniently came out that week, so I played that. That game was pretty fun. Like it was weird playing it at first. It was like cause like it's like a grid based type of game now, where there's like strategy elements and stuff like that, kind of like a Disgaea or Final Fantasy Tactics now, of a gameplay system. So it was like that's kind of weird at effort. I mean, on its own, but like it's also like because it's South Park, you only just frame it from the horizontal view. You can't do vertically, so like you can only attack back for the most part, and like there's some attacks that like go that way, but like you can't like turn your attack to attack like up or down. So like that's like that's a weird thing just like to get used to. But like and like it took a while for that game to really click with me because like Not that it was bad or anything like that, or like it is. I mean, obviously that's like compared to like Stick of Truth, it's not as funny as that one is, or at least it was for me. I guess mostly because it's the like definitely Stick of Truth reflected mostly on like the classic South Park, the ones that I used to actually watch constantly on when I used to watch South Park constantly. I don't really watch it as much anymore, and this one's focusing more on the newer stuff. It was like, oh, I didn't know Tweak and Craig were in a relationship. Oh, I didn't know about these member grapes and stuff like that. In like different various like references that they're making now. It's like, huh, that's pretty funny. I just didn't know this, and like it's all cool for what it is. But yeah, like I said, it took a while, but like eventually I got really into it now. Like I feel the system is like the tactic system is actually really decent. Not to like a Disgaea level for me, but like it's like a simpler version of that. But like but it's still fun for what it is, and like I enjoy that a lot, and like and I'm enjoying the general humor of it. It's not as funny as the last one because it's mostly just like one of those things where it's like where people like compared like Uncharted to Uncharted 3 was like, oh, it's pretty much the same again, and you know, take that for what you will. And
where are you on the Uncharted 2 to 3? I forget.
I think I like 3 more than 2. Yeah, I think that's what I felt. Yeah.
like you're also not sure.
It's been it's been a minute. Yeah, 3 has some good story moments for me that I really enjoyed character wise. But like you know, like it feels like it didn't do enough, but like it's like what could they really do, and like if they want to keep like the same aesthetic and whatnot, and like keep the same feel of it. But yeah, that game is solid. Like I'm enjoying it a lot. It's been a good like binging sessions playing that game. Just going through it, like I'm probably like 14 hours in or something like that, and like yeah, it's just good fun.
Cool. Yeah, I like, I guess question around the panel, anybody else here going to play South Park, The Fractured Butthole? I'll take that as a no.
No.
Yeah, I know Scott's not going to. I didn't know if you were going to, Tony. Yeah, I know that's like more your jam, so it's good to get your perspective on it too. I feel like you don't play a lot of RPGs like that as well, so I like that there's one that kind of fits that niche for you.
I mean, it's not really like it fits the niche. It's more of like, I guess it's like a good licensed game. So
I guess. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I like the general consensus, I guess, that I've been seeing. I saw a couple of folks that said that they thought it was better than the first one in every way. But most people I've been saying is like, oh, it's really good, but not as funny.
Yeah,
it seems to be the general feeling.
Yeah. And like I will say, like for like an outsider's view, if you're like, I don't know why you would be, but like if you're somewhat interested in this game, but you're not really a fan of South Park, look at Phil Kohler's review. He was someone who's not a fan of South Park, but he enjoyed the game. But like, obviously he's off-putted by a lot of stuff in the game as well. So it was like he gave it like a very honest review about like how he felt about that, and like how it was like for him to play through that game. So I highly recommend looking at it on Polygon.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. That is my niche.
Yeah. it was weird because like I actually like tweeted at him. I was like, hey, like I really appreciate your review. As someone who like kind of like sort of kind of like South Park, but like I enjoyed the general honesty that he gave out to me. He followed me on Twitter because I said that to him. So like I guess he's getting a lot of shit for that right now. It's like, oh, why are you like fucking like South Park? Whatever.
Having this conversation or listening to you talk about it makes me think of the last time I like it was brought up that I don't like South Park because I've gotten a lot of shit about this.
Yeah.
It was around my other brother, not my oldest brother, my middle brother, and he was like, "Oh, did you see this episode of South Park?" I'm like, "No, I don't watch South Park," and that's all I said. He's like, "Oh," he said immediately back. He's like, "Oh, that's right. South Park isn't smart enough for you." And he had to just turn it into the thing. I'm like, I didn't say anything about people who watch South Park. I didn't say anything about South Park. I just said I don't like South Park. And it's just like, it's always got to be a goddamn thing.
Your brothers sure do know how to trigger you, man. Like, I swear.
They for sure do. Like,
like that and Birdman's, like, they just know. They just know how to get under your skin.
And, I mean, yeah. I mean, they know me the best, so.
Yeah, sure.
You get the good with the bad. And my like, living with my oldest brother has for sure, like, chilled out that aspect of that relationship, I will say. I think the Birdman thing happened before we lived together. Yeah, that was early 2015, so this was before we moved in together. And now, like, he gets me. We hang out more. We talk about the things we like and the things we don't more. So there's more respect there. The other one, that's probably not gonna happen. Anyway,
but yeah, that's pretty much all in play.
Cool. That's it for video games, right? You didn't like go off to play a video game, right, Tony? He's not
No.
here. Okay. Listen, I don't know. You could have.
I'm just over here like, hold on, I gotta play this Osu.
Like, let me finish this. All right, then let's talk. Make sure this volume is good. Let's talk about some news. News in gaming. Not a lot of news to talk about, but there's not a lot of news, but there's a lot to talk about, I think. Or at least I want to have a conversation about it. I'm curious for the table's perspective. Not a lot of good news. How about that? That is a...
The MPDs got delayed. So sad.
The MPDs got delayed. Everything's ruined.
Everything's ruined.
Everything is ruined. But we did get a little bit of information. Apparently, like, they got delayed because of a data issue.
That's weird.
I don't know what that means. So the MPDs would normally be out, but what we can take away is the Nintendo Switch did really well in the United States in September. It sold more than 2 million units in September alone. And it sold better than the PS4 and Xbox One.
So 2 million just in September?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's pretty impressive.
No, it's sold more than 2 million units in the U.S. since launch.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not as impressive, but still real good, though.
It added combined sales for Switch, 3DS, and SNES Classic, and is 2/3 of total U.S. hardware sales in September, which is actually pretty impressive. So that's, I mean, the SNES Classic, I'm sure did very well, but and I don't think 3DS was a big contributor to that one. It was like the Metroid bundle or whatever, but so yeah, the Nintendo had a very good month. Nintendo, we talked about it, I think last week, that they've switched their production of Switch to 2 million units per month, which is a lot. And I guess so Mario Rabbids and Samus Returns were the two big Nintendo games in September. Rabbids,
a freaking 3DS game.
Yeah,
on top.
A very good one.
Mm-hmm. And a Metroid game, even.
Yeah, a Metroid game on the MPD charts. And I don't think Samus Returns sold crazy well overall, but like, you know, I'm glad it sounds like it's probably going to chart at least.
I mean, like if you think about what came out that month and like everything that came out this year, like for it to even chart, I think that's still impressive for next year.
Yeah, for sure. Because September was a good month. As were all of them. It's like everything but July. No, July had Splatoon 2. Never mind. Everything but June? No, that had Tekken. Shit. Fuck. Yeah, every month was a good month. So, literally, you can name a month, and it's like, nope, a good game came out that month. I guess like August, like the big one was Rabbids, right?
Yeah.
I guess, but Madden came out, so somebody would defend that game. But yeah, so maybe we will have NPDs next week. But that's not the big story of the week. Big one that everybody's talking about came out on Tuesday morning too. Electronic Arts had a statement. I have the statement here, and I don't want to pull a full Brandon Jones and just read it verbatim here, but there's some choice quotes in here. So we'll revisit it. Should we do it first up front? No, I'm asking you, Nobshin. You tell me what you want. You want the statement from EA or the news?
Do the news first, then do the statement.
Inverted pyramid. I like it. Andrew Goldfarb would be proud of you right now, is what I'm saying. So EA has shut down Visceral Games. Technically, they're like winding down and then shutting them down, but I believe like relatively effective immediately. Visceral Games shut down. And Visceral, for folks who don't know, they made games such as Dead Space 1, 2, and 3. They also made Battlefield Hardline. They did the campaign for that, at least. I don't know if they did the multiplayer for that, but that was their most recent game. That came out in 2014, which is a questionable year for that game to come out, as we all know. And, I would say Visceral doesn't have, like, an incredible pedigree, but I have a big affiliation for Visceral because I love Dead Space. Thank you to Scott for introducing me to Dead Space. That was like the game that basically got me into horror video games. Like,
yeah,
I didn't play Resident Evil 4 until after I had played Dead Space.
Right, and then I got you into horror games during the worst time for horror games, pretty much.
Yeah,
and then you went on to search for more horror games, and we were both bad.
Yeah. And, I'm playing The Evil Within, too, now, because of it. Like, if it wasn't for Dead Space, I would have never even given a shot to a game like The Evil Within. Mm-hmm. Which is, so that game has impacted me a great deal, I will say. So, Visceral was developing the unnamed Star Wars single-player adventure game being written by Amy Hennig, who had written the Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. So it was like, kind of a match made in heaven. Not necessarily like Visceral Studios has a bit of a shaky past, but I think like if you were going to make a third-person action game, I think they had the gusto to do that. Obviously, that studio's changed a lot since Dead Space 3 came out, even Dead Space 2 especially. But, Amy Hennig, writer of like really jovial action-adventure games, meets makers of good third-person action games, making a Star Wars single-player action-adventure game. So that game has now been transferred to EA Vancouver, and it is being pivoted. Let's use that word that Patrick Soderlund used in his statement. And I'll read the statement, and then we'll kind of go through the details here. Because it's not a very long thing that they wrote out here, but there's a lot to pick apart here. I will say just a couple things to throw out there. Easy Allies did a really good breakdown of this statement and this news, and they had like a lot of stuff to add to it.
Jones was heated.
Jones was heated. Oh, I loved it. Oh,
man.
So
I can see why Hubert gets off by that.
Yeah, dude. Of course. Just... So yeah, they had a very good conversation about it. A lot of different sides for it. I don't know where we'll go with this, but we'll see. I have some questions to ask the panel, so you guys. Input had a very good discussion about this. I was listening to that before we started. And I know Waypoint Radio actually had somebody from EA on to talk about what's going on at EA. So if you want maybe a little bit more perspective, there are other sources for that. I just want to throw them out there, and I'll probably be referencing some of what they said here. But this is the statement that Patrick Soderlund, who is, I forget what his exact title from EA is. He's like one of the executives. And he's the guy that's typically up during the EA press conference for some portion of it. This is what he put out. And this is how EA unveiled this news. Our industry is evolving faster and more dramatically than ever before. The games we want to play and spend time with, the experiences we want to have in those games, and the way we play, all those things are continually changing. So is the way games are made. In this fast-moving space, we are always focused on creating experiences that our players want to play, and today, that means we're making a significant change with one of our upcoming titles. Our Visceral Studio has been developing an action-adventure title set in the Star Wars universe. In its current form, it was shaping up to be a story-paced, linear adventure game. Throughout the development process, we've been testing the game concept with players, listening to the feedback about what and how they want to play, and closely tracking fundamental shifts in the marketplace. It has become clear that to deliver an experience that players will want to come back to and enjoy for a long time to come, we needed to pivot the design. We will maintain the stunning visuals, authenticity in the Star Wars universe, and focus on bringing a Star Wars story to life. Importantly, we are shifting the game to be a broader experience that allows more variety and player agency, leaning into the capabilities of our Frostbite engine and reimagining central elements of the game to give players a Star Wars adventure of greater depth and breadth to explore. This move leads to a few other changes. A development team across EA Worldwide Studios will take over development of the game, led by a team from EA Vancouver that has already been working on the project. Our Visceral studio will be ramping down and closing, and we're in the midst of shifting as many of the team as possible to other projects and teams at EA. Lastly, while we had originally expected this game to launch late in our fiscal year 2019, we're now looking at a new time frame that we will announce in the future. Bringing new Star Wars games to life for every passionate fan out there is what drives us as creators. It's what has inspired us to deliver the massive new Star Wars Battlefront 2 experience launching in just a few weeks. It fuels our live service in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Making games in the Extraverse is truly a dream for so many of us at EA, and we have so many more experiences to come for players on the platform. We want to take the time to get each game right, to make it unique, to make it amazing. We look forward to answering more of your questions and sharing more on our plans and for this new Star Wars experience in months to come. So, very PR speak. I like that. I like a good, thick PR speak, like a note like this, just because you can just tear it apart. So, big things to note, right? Visceral's closing down, which sucks because like hundreds of people worked at Visceral. They put it like the saddest shit I think I've ever seen in game closing downs was like the Visceral Twitter account just tweeted out a picture of all of their employees.
Yeah.
In their studio space. A lot of people. And, you know, they did say they're moving as many people as they can to other projects, so specifically not this project. But a lot of people still probably lost their jobs. So, first and foremost, hopefully those guys and gals all land on their feet and move on to other creative ventures and can still make cool games, because I think Visceral is a very talented studio, personally. Two, Star Wars game is going from a linear adventure game to something that sounds a lot like a Destiny kind of game. That is what I took away from that statement. I've heard multiple interpretations, but a game for people to play and come back to for a long period of time sounds like Destiny to me, which is weird to me because EA is also developing or publishing Anthem, which also seems a whole lot like Destiny, but we can loop back around to that. And three, it seems like Amy Hennig is no longer involved with this project. That seems to be the word on the street. We don't know for sure, but it seems like that game is going to be kind of a different genre of game, and it may be like a multiplayer kind of game, maybe not, maybe like something Horizon-esque where it's like an open world, broad single-player game. But it seems like Amy Hennig is probably also not involved, which is super weird because that seemed like a really great match made in heaven kind of situation, and I was very excited to see her making something that is not like or is not an Uncharted game, pretty much. First, Tony, I'm curious because when you and I watched E3, no, it must have been, we watched some Uncharted set piece together at some E3 press conference, and you said, "Go ahead."
No, go ahead. You can finish.
You'd said to me like, "I'm really over this kind of like single player, linear action set piece kind of game."
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, hearing this, I know you're probably, I don't know if you're a huge Star Wars guy or if you were even interested in this game, but just hearing this, how do you feel about a Star Wars game shifting from that to this?
Well, the set piece that you were referencing is the one where they drive in a car like through a village,
Yes.
and there's like a big like, Indiana Jones like boulder scene and like a bunch of gunplay and stuff that happens, but like it's mostly just a set piece. But anyway, I mean, like I don't hate Star Wars, but like I'm not super into modern Star Wars.
Okay.
But you know, like I like Destiny, and if that game is going to take cues from Destiny, it's probably worth looking at. Yeah, I mean, I would be into, you know, I would be down to take a look at it.
I think it's interesting. How do you feel about it, Scott? I don't know if you have any thoughts you want to throw in here, because I feel like you gravitate more to that kind of like broader multiplayer experience as well. I don't know if you care about Star Wars either.
Not particularly.
Would you be more interested in like this game now that it seems to have pivoted to this other role?
Maybe because we still don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, great question. Great point, at least. And we never will. We never will know what that original game was. But that's essentially canceled. That is the subtext of this.
Yeah, the big thing about it is it's a bit odd to. It's a bit alarming that the game's still going. I want to say.
Yeah. Or to even like,
because this is the dev hell loop getting fast forwarded. I don't see how that could be good.
Yeah, this is like Final Fantasy 15 all over again, right? Like that game was one thing, that game got canceled behind the scenes and turned into another thing. And it's interesting because like I think Nabishin, you and I are kind of more in the single player kind of track of things. Like you were looking forward to this, right? To some extent.
Yeah, to some extent, not the biggest Star Wars guy, but like yeah, definitely. Like I enjoy Amy Hennig's direction as far as like the games that she made before, as far as Uncharted, I should say. So like yeah, I was looking forward to it as far as that.
Yeah, and I am a pretty big Star Wars fan, but I was excited for basically Star Wars Uncharted. If the game just ended up being that, I would have been super down, pretty much. And it seemed like it had the potential to be maybe more than that, but with that at its core. So this bumps me out for sure, because we never knew what that game was, and now we never will know at the very least. How do you feel about this, Nabishin?
Real quick before we get to my opinion, Tony, Scott, did you guys play the Old Republic? I'm just curious.
Nope.
The MMO.
I played it for approximately 2 hours, and it was a Star Wars MMO.
Accurate description. From what I understand, that's what that game was.
It didn't grab me, so I decided not to devote a lot of time to it, you know. And I just didn't have a group that was playing it. But yeah, I did. I mean, I hopped in there. I killed some things.
I know Joseph Fate really liked it.
Distinctly remember the opening area of that game because I did it like 4 times.
That's always a good sign. What were we gonna say now, Shin?
I mean, like it's a weird thing, right? Because you think about like something similar to this would be something like Scalebound that got canceled this year for Microsoft, and it's kind of one of those things where it's like it's one of those good faith type of things, where it's like you probably won't get like the most money out of it, but like it's the thing that people want.
Yeah,
and it's like this is just not I wouldn't say bad business because it's not bad business. It's all about business, and this for what they're seeing. This is good business for them, but like it's bad as far as your customers, I would feel, because like as many people who are outcrying for like I mean, a lot of people want this. Like, granted, this is games media. People who are saying that they actually want this, but like, I feel a lot of people wants like a good, decent Star Wars single player type of game, a good story of your Star Wars. Like, you know, it's something they got from the extended universes, from the books or whatever. Something like, even though the Force Unleashed wasn't that great of a game, like, people enjoyed it and like they ate that game up because of that. For the time, like, it probably hasn't aged that well. It probably exceptionally hasn't aged as well, but like now, I think people would actually want something like that. And like I said, it's a good faith type of thing. It's like with Scalebound, like we probably, that game probably wouldn't have sold all that much, but like it was like kind of like saying like, oh, Microsoft was willing to get weird and do something different and cater to like a certain audience. Like, you're willing to do something like that. And when that got canceled for Microsoft, you know, that kind of like gave us a bad sign till E3, where they're like trying to bring back that faith again. And with EA, is like, it's just weird. It's like just to cancel something that seemed like so high profile, so, and like they've been talking about this for literally years, which is like probably the worst thing about it, without seeing anything on it. Because like that was like the biggest thing they brought up in like and like it was the thing that most of us were really excited about, I think.
Yeah. I don't know anyone like, that wasn't like at least deeply curious to see what this game looked like.
I mean, like, sure, we had Battlefront, and like that was like the first thing that he showed, but like they were saying like Amy Hennig, who did the Uncharted games, is doing a single player Uncharted Star Wars game, and like I wouldn't see who wouldn't be excited for that, or at least to be like, you know, like generally interested. And like I think a lot of people would get into it, like because like as good as what Battlefront will probably be, Battlefront 2's single player, like it's obvious like the main focus is the multiplayer, and like I'm pretty sure the single player will be good because like it has a good pedigree for that as well. But like I don't know how much you can get out of that, and it's like, because like when I think of like stuff like game, like when we talk about stuff like Game of the Year and like games that like it's like something that left an impact that year, and like generally games. Maybe that's too biased for me saying that, but like I was thinking like maybe games like I don't think Destiny 2 will be anyone's Game of the Year per se. And the only reason I say that is because you know, it was kind of like this getting better for what they did from Destiny 1, which is what a lot of people like, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's something that like lasts for people. It lasts for them as far as like doing the raid over and over again and the multiplayer and stuff like that, but like I don't think that's substantial as far as like something like, weirdly enough, like PUBG, which it says it has stayed along for, or he's been part of the conversation like all this year. I don't know, like I'm like, rambling. I'm saying a whole bunch of
no, I got you. Like, you know, like Destiny is actually a good example because it's maybe the game you play the most, but it's not your favorite game, right? Because like, usually the games that you play once and you always remember or you always hold on to, and this is true of like I think you and me, at the very least, like they stick with you, and like that singular impact is often it hits harder than like the consistent coming back to it. But that's different for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Like you know, Tony, like I don't know what your Game of the Year is right now. It's probably Persona. If I had to guess, but like, where would you chime in? Because you like the games like Destiny more than Nabish and I.
Yeah.
Where would you put? Would you say like Destiny 2 would be a contender for Game of the Year, or would you say something like that's like a one-off and more unique would probably be number one for you?
That's tough. Like, the Destiny 2 has a lot of things going for it, but I think it also has problems. There's a reason why like 80% of players of Destiny 2 don't log in anymore. But you know, otherwise, the game is good for what people should really have expected from Destiny. Destiny isn't the MMO that people were expecting it to be, with like all of those hours of content that people, you know, expected it to have. So I don't know. There are a lot of complaints going on in Destiny right now of there just not being a lot of endgame, and while there could be more there, I think it's kind of fair what we got for $60 made sense for the kind of game that Bungie is known for producing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Destiny campaign feels more like a Halo campaign, and it has a multiplayer. So I feel like it's sort of unrealistic to expect more. It'd be nice. Obviously, more is always better, but most of the time is better. But yeah, I don't know. I think Destiny is good, but there are other games this year that I like better. So
Go ahead, Navashin.
No, I was just totally going to agree with Tony because it's like, it was weird. Like it seems like Destiny gives off the impression of like this is a game that will continually last. I mean, and it is, but like in certain like they'll have big spikes every other month or something like that, where they have something to come out with, and that's something you have constantly, like an MMO. But like for some reason it gives off that impression. I don't know why. But like I wouldn't say they market it that way because I don't think they do at all. It's just like something that I guess we just want. It feels endless, but like when we get to that end, it's like, oh, I thought I could just keep doing this over and over again, but like I don't know. That's so weird to me.
Trevor Starkey brings up a good point in our live chat, though. Overwatch was our game of the year last year. That's totally what that game is. But I think like that is not normally the game that we especially settle on, or me for that matter. But Overwatch's uniqueness is what made it stand out more and be more memorable. Maybe that's a tribute to saying Destiny's not as unique, which I don't think it is, but like I think Overwatch is more the exception than the rule for me, but for other folks I think that does line up.
I mean, like it's something like you could say something like like Mario Brothers 3, where it's like, oh, that's a simple game, but you get so much out of something so simple. And I think that's something like Overwatch has, and even like PUBG has this year, where someone could just like get so much out of something that's so basic and so simple.
Or like they're the games that appear simple and like your input is simple in it, but they're much deeper than you would give them credit for, like Undertale.
Like Alex's and Rogers like essay studies on PUBG, just like those are just like interesting, just like aspects of like what we think about that game for the moments we play that game.
But so the kind of response to this is like, where are big budget single player games going forward? Because like this was a big budget single player game, and it's another game that seems to have either been canceled or shifted away from that. And that seems to be like the conversation that most people are having around it. Like, I don't know how much we can chime in on it necessarily, because like it's weird because like going through all this, we know so little at this point. I think like the situation to me that is more frustrating is it's like EA shuttered another studio that I don't think had to be closed. Like I don't think Visceral had to be closed. I think Visceral was definitely like in troubled waters, especially with
Hardline.
Battlefield Hardline being their last thing. But I also think like they got shafted with Battlefield Hardline. Like I don't know if Visceral wanted to make Battlefield Hardline. I think they were told to make Battlefield Hardline, and then when that didn't do well because it came out in 2014, where like police brutality deaths were up a crazy amount, and then like that game came out in March, and 5 months later like Ferguson happened. Like, yeah, like that game wasn't going to do well. I hate to break it to you. But like that was just like both bad timing, but also like questionable subject matter in a video game to begin with. So, about like cops going rogue and being heavily militarized and whatnot. So like, it feels like they got the short end of the stick in this one. I mean, and I like, go ahead.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say like everyone taught like at Visceral, from what I have like absorbed, and it's been very little. It's not like I've seen a lot of folks from Visceral talking about this game, but like it seems like there was genuine excitement to make this.
That's the thing. That's really the thing too. This is like one of those passion projects type of things. Like, who wouldn't be jazzed to do something like this? And like,
Yeah.
it's like it's just so weird to like to cancel something like this. And like obviously like it's probably got like it was like there's probably like a very logical reason other than like, you know, we want to make more money to where like it might have been troubled and like, oh, we probably need like another couple of years to actually get this out. We don't want another match back drama in the situation or whatever. But like, you know, like I said, there's genuine passion about this. It's like you talk to the people who like even like do the Battlefronts 2 single player, like how generally jazzed they are just to like do something with that game and be like, hey, I have my thumbprint in this universe or whatever. So
yeah. And it seems like that poured out into the people, like we said earlier, like I don't know anyone that wasn't excited for this game. It's fucking Star Wars, man. Like this game was gonna sell pretty well. Like I have zero doubts about it. Like especially like seeing in 2019 in here is very disheartening. I can understand like it's crazy that this game was already being pinned for 2019. I was convinced it was coming out next year. And like it's just like it was gonna be in the thick of Star Wars, and now like it's gonna be after 2019, presumably like 2020 at the earliest, I guess. And like that's like right at the end of like this new trilogy of Star Wars movies. Obviously, there's gonna be more past that, but like it's just EA's like hesitancy to just monopolize on the Star Wars craze right now is crazy, and it like I don't. Again, it's likely that this game was kind of in development hell already, but I saw a tweet from Jason Schreier from Kotaku saying like an unnamed source at EA had referred to this game as a mess. That's like paraphrasing what he said, but that's more telling that as to why something like this would happen than anything else. But it's Star Wars. Like I feel like it would have done well, single player or not.
And like I keep thinking about it too. Like obviously about Visceral, but like also Amy Hennig as well. Like she literally just like this is the second time this has happened.
Yeah.
Like first with Uncharted through Naughty Dog, and then like now with Star Wars. Like and like she's probably like the biggest like female like game director that we know of. So like that's just a shame that
Yeah.
you can get herself out.
It was like Jade Raymond is over there, and it was like kind of like a big dream team. Like 'cause she's like in charge of I don't know if she's Motive or not, but she was like in charge of the studio, helping with this. So yeah, it is a bummer. Like above all, like I think it's just a bummer that Visceral, like it's hard to be upset that this Star Wars game got canceled because we literally knew nothing about it except that EA talked about it way more than they should have, especially if it was pinned for 2019, late fiscal year 2019. So like after April 1st, 2019, late, before March 31st, 2020.
So that means this game is gonna come out like probably around PlayStation 5 and whatever the next.
Yeah, like this game is for sure coming out on the next generation of consoles. This is probably going to be one of those straddle games that gets fucked by that too. Like,
oh my god,
you know, you think about it. So it's crazy. It's just it is weird. It is a bummer news, and I think I wanted to get Scott and Tony, your guys' perspective, because I think you guys would gravitate more to the game that this is turning into than I would. So I think there is potential for what this game becomes to be cool and interesting. And I think Destiny Star Wars is a good idea. I don't understand why they couldn't have been two separate things. Especially because like EA should be making a lot of Star Wars games. They shouldn't be. And that's just I don't understand video game business, and of course I would say that, and I wish like there was a way for me to understand what happened here a little bit better, but they've got this license, they've got exclusivity with this license, they're making Battlefront. That is a multiplayer game. They could have made a single player game along with it, and it's just like it's also weird to see this game phrased like it is coming out very like not too long after presumably Anthem is going to come out. So
maybe we should just think about the bigger picture as far as like EA in general. As far as like, can they even really do single player games like anymore? Like what? Like the last like decent one was probably Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
And
They've definitely got burned by it this year with Andromeda, but like that was another situation where it seems like they told the studio to make a game, they didn't give them enough time to make it, or they gave them a lot of time, but like that game was harder to make than they gave them credit for. Like, so I don't know.
And like
lot of
the other,
questions.
and the other like single player game they put out this generation was like Mirror's Edge, which was a good, like I said, no one expected that game to sell a lot, but that was a good faith gesture to the fans.
Yeah,
And like and
but
I
it
think that's
wasn't a well-received game.
yeah, but I think that's important for a company to like at least throw fans a bone. Like Metroid, that game doesn't, those games don't sell that much, but like when you actually take the time to actually do something and like put effort into it, like it can come out and like it can actually
Like
do
Metroid Prime
numbers.
4 is a good Metroid game to make at this in this time, in this climate, right? Nintendo made the right call doing Metroid Prime 4 and not like Metroid Other M2, right? Obviously. But EA did Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, you're
That's-
totally right, Trevor. You're right.
Trevor, yeah, just posted that in our chat. So that, I guess that's like their big tentpole game, and like I think what those guys are probably making the next Dragon Age right now too. So,
Any thoughts
Yeah,
on
it's-
single player games in general?
single players in general, like I don't know, I feel like this isn't indicative of it, because I feel like first party studios are still going to be making single player games, and I think that is important. Like we can't just disregard the fact that first party, like Sony's making like 12 single player games right now. Like it's as much shit as I give Sony for like taking their sweet time with games. Like they made Horizon this year, which is great. Like it's a great single player game. They're making The Last of Us Part 2. They're making Days Gone. They're making Detroit Become Human. They're making a lot of single player games. Microsoft is going to keep making Halo games, which have a multiplayer component, but they have a big campaign component as well. And they're going to keep making Gears of War games, which like I understand like big franchises and whatnot, and they're a bit safer to make from. But like I think I think like there's not any immediate danger for the AAA single player game. I think that can still live in the environment that it's always thrived the most in, which is in first party exclusives.
I think
So.
I think you have a point in that, but like I do think it's like for companies like as big as like EA, Activision, and maybe even Ubisoft at this point now, like I don't think they can really get anything out of just doing single player games for their companies. So it's like what I always be saying with those companies in general. Like if you like wait like maybe like 3 months for like an EA game, you can get it for like almost like $15. Like those games do not like, because I guess they just put out so much of what they have, and then after that is just like retailers are just like this pretty much like giving them away. Like I think Mass Effect Andromeda was like $9 like last week or something like that. So
Yeah.
For a game that came out like barely 6 months ago.
It's crazy too, because you'd think like the third party games would sell more because they're available on all platforms.
Yeah, it's so weird. And like but like I do think that like single player is like, it's still good for what it, I don't think it's going anywhere. Like other than like a company like Square Enix, like I think the Japanese presence as far as like single player games will be very prevalent, and obviously the indie scene
Always.
is very maintaining their single playerness, and like because like these whole discussions having like my mind racing like a whole bunch of things. Like I was thinking about like indie games, like what would an indie developer do with like a property like Star Wars? And it's like they would never have that opportunity. But like
Yeah, but they could do such cool shit too.
exactly, they would take risks and do different things. So it's
Imagine a
like,
game that looks and plays like Oxenfree, but in the Star Wars universe, right?
exactly.
Like that would be so cool.
Because it's like I said, like when you're in a company like EA, you can't take risks. You have to always be the sure bet. And like probably like the single player in Battlefront 2 will probably be like the riskiest thing they'll do with Star Wars, whatever they have that to be, because that's going to be canon. So like it has to be like fit to the certain criteria in like almost every aspect. So like you won't see anything too crazy, but you might see something interesting. So that's that, and I guess that's the real difference. Is it like you get something crazy from an indie developer, you can get something just generally interesting from something like EA. So
yeah, I don't know. Like third-party stuff, I feel like Ubisoft's also gonna keep making weird shit. Though they put Mario and Rabbids out this year. That's a single-player game. So
for sure, it's also like a first-party game, more or less.
Yeah, more or less, but it was developed by at least a third party, so I think there's room for it. I'm not necessarily worried about it. Patrick Klepek did write a very good article on Waypoint about the future of the AAA single player game. Worth reading. I haven't read all of it yet, so I can't necessarily speak to it too much, but yeah. That's all. I think that's it for news. We do have some questions though. Do you guys want to take a peek in the mail sack? Sorry, I just saw one. A couple that were good. All right, we got some. How do y'all feel about Mary Boff kills?
I'm into them.
Okay. Scott?
James option.
Okay. I can be into them. We have two from Cameron Abbott. One that I'm not reading, but two from Cameron Abbott that I will read. And Cameron Abbott is at Unsexiest Comedy on Twitter. Remember, you can tweet your questions at IrrationalPod. I can play the music if you want.
It's so silent.
It's true. All right, I'll play the other music too. No, that's the wrong one. I like this like elevator music that I got for this one. It's very chill. Cameron Abbott. This is very nice. Not much, and you're right. That's a little detox from all the serious conversations. Mary Boff kill. Tweet your questions at IrrationalPod. Use the hashtag IPQ. Mary Boff kill Mark Zuckerberg, Tom from MySpace, whoever the fuck would name a website Santa. Is there a website called Santa?
I think you scroll down. It said he asked that. I think that
he
was
said autocorrected from Zanga. Okay.
Oh.
So Mark Zuckerberg, Tom from MySpace, and whoever the fuck would name a website Zanga. I don't even know what Zanga is. Is that a social media?
I had
platform?
one. Yeah. That was pre-Facebook.
Oh, Zanga 2.0 is here, according to Zanga.com. What was
I
Zanga
had
all
a
about?
fucking page. I just don't know what it was.
What was... All right, let's see. Wikipedia, Zanga. I feel like we need to know the full context. Zanga is a website that hosts web blogs, photo blogs, and social networking profiles. Zanga.com, the weblog community. It began in 1999. Damn. Apparently, Zanga's ranking has continually declined since 2007. So that's rough. So, another social networking site. I would marry Mark Zuckerberg for his money. And I'll admit that up front.
Yeah, I'd gold dig a little bit.
Yeah, I'd boff Tom from MySpace just to say that I did. And I'd kill whoever named Zanga. But, like, that's disingenuous because whoever made Zanga didn't necessarily... Or whoever named Zanga didn't necessarily make Zanga. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like, Mark Zuckerberg didn't necessarily
So they're
make
probably
Facebook.
not important, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah. So, like, you know, whatever.
Like that guy's life achievement was founding one of the first like popular social networks.
Yeah, and I'd just kill him. Just throw him aside. What about you, Tony? No, take your time, please.
You cut out for me. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said, what about you, Tony?
Oh, yeah, that's a good. That was a really good statement to just be blanked out.
now I feel bad.
I would echo you. I think.
Okay. Nabishin?
Same.
Okay. Scott, you gonna switch it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna kill Zuckerberg,
Okay.
of course.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's totally valid.
Fuck Zanga,
Yeah.
because that's a mystery.
Yeah, that is a mystery. You want to unravel that, like.
And then I'm gonna marry Tom from MySpace, because he's my friend.
Thank you, Scott.
This just in: Scott fucks his friends.
He marries his friends. All right, it's different. There's just sex is love. All right. Unsexy Comedy, Cameron Abbott also sends in Mary Buff Kill. Gangbang edition. Oh, okay, that's a little inappropriate. The Beatles, Aerosmith, Def Leppard. Ooh.
Okay. So I'd kill the Beatles.
I was gonna kill.
I guess I don't really care what happens with the other two, but Aerosmith's pretty lit. So I guess I'd marry them.
Okay.
And yeah.
Who wouldn't fuck Def Leppard? I was nervous to say I would kill the Beatles first because I know people are gonna be upset about that.
Whatever, I don't care. Don't at me.
Yeah, don't at me. Don't at Tony. Don't at me either. Send all your hate mail. Scott@irrationalpod.com.
There you go.
It's not email anymore.
Bringing it back.
I would marry Def Leppard, fuck Aerosmith, and I'd kill the Beatles. Hit me with it, Nabashin.
I'd probably fuck the Beatles, marry Aerosmith, and kill Def Leppard.
All right, Scott, what you got?
Yeah, no, you guys went too fast. I didn't hear the names.
The Beatles, Aerosmith, and Def Leppard. Not
Kill
a lot
all
of
these
hits. Yeah, not a lot of hits for Scott. I'll accept that.
Yeah, no, kill all these motherfuckers.
All right, I'll live with that. That's the only other one. So, Trevor Starkey @SnarkyStarkey. Favorite and least favorite parts of redesigning the website. I think this one is geared toward me, unless y'all have some input here.
Okay.
Best part was probably hanging out on a Skype call with Logan and George. Logan and I started at like 7:30 p.m. on Sunday. And then George joined us around 10:30. And then we were on that Skype call until like 1 or 2. Just chatting about stuff, walking through stuff. And we were on and off periodically so we could just jam out to music. And then I finished what I was doing around 5:30, and I know George went to bed around 4:30, and Logan went to bed around 2:30. So, or 3:30, one of the two. So that was fun. Like, just, feeling like you're in the weeds, as Logan referred to it, in the trenches. Because, he related it back to PAX East of, like, I like this kind of on my grind, in the trenches, trench work kind of feeling of, like, going through and doing this stuff and working and feeling like you're working hard. And his enthusiasm definitely helped push us forward. And they were, like, both really excited about the site and, like, all the new stuff, just learning with them all the new stuff that we could do. It was nice not having to do that alone. That was probably my favorite part, which sounds super sad when I phrase it in that context. Least favorite part. There's a couple. There was a whole thing talking to, like, our web hosting support, and, like, the dude that I was talking to being, like, the most lethargic, does not give a shit person in the world. When I set up, I'm like, hey, this one is going to be a little in the weeds. Like, I just want to let you know. Is that okay? And he says, I don't have a choice. That was his response.
Wow.
And then he sent a smiley face emoji.
All right, well, that makes it a little better.
It does make it a little bit better, but his response was, I don't have a choice.
I think that may have been more good intentioned than...
I hope so. It was just like, I sent a screenshot of that chat to Jarrett, George, and Logan. They're like, oh boy. And that was like when we were switching the back end over. Switching it, like, we had to, like, basically reload into the old site in the back end to pull the reviews off of it and the timestamps and whatnot. That was a nightmare. having to reformat everything, man, like editing the front page was like really hard at first. Like just learning everything over again sucks because everything's in a different place. But it wasn't, none of it was too terrible. I would just say like the time consuming, like changing colors, preview, edit this piece of code, preview, change this like dimension, preview, and then just having to go back and forth between that was the worst part. Tyler Treese, at Tyler Treese, asked a good question. How happy are you with the Switch's library of games so far? What types of titles would you like to see on the system going forward? That's a good question, Tyler. Moment of seriousness from Tyler, and I appreciate it. How are you feeling about it, Nabashin?
It's fine.
You are the person of the three of us that have a Switch that plays it the most.
Do I play it the most?
I haven't touched mine in a while. Not that like I'm still very happy with it. I just
I mean, I don't play it as often as you would think, but like, yeah, I think they have stellar games what they have right now. Lots of diversity with ARMS and Splatoon and Mario and Zelda, SteamWorld Dig 2. Yeah, I think it has a good lineup for it. Not too sure about what's coming up for it though. Like I know they have like a stellar 2017. I don't know how.
Yeah, 2018 is a big question mark currently.
Yeah, as far as like what they'll have for that.
We have a few games that we know are coming out, but we don't know when. I'm sure like Nintendo's got a plan. This is pretty much their MO. They'll probably do it direct at the end of December or beginning of January, kind of outlining some stuff they've planned out. But I understand. What about you, Tony?
I mean, I played Zelda.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm. What would you want to see on the Switch going forward?
More like Tales games.
Yeah, dude, a Tales game on Switch, man. Now we're talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm very happy with it. It's funny because like I barely play my Switch at all currently. Mostly because like I've had very specific things I want to play. But I'd see all of every video game on Switch. Partially in that camp. Like I'm like 1 foot into that all games on Switch camp. I'm not all there, but I'm 1 foot in there. I'm not like full Brant Range, who is like texting me once a week, every week. Hey, did you see this headline that says all games should be on Switch? They get it. And I'm like, Brant, Jesus.
They get it.
I legitimately, he does this to me once a week. It's very funny, but I'm like, oh my God, I get it. So like, I would like to see more games like Metroid on Switch. More Metroidvanias on Switch would be really cool. More games like SteamWorld Dig that are like the bigger known indie games. More games like Stardew Valley along that same line. Like I'd love to see Undertale on Switch, things like that. I'd love to see Super Mario Odyssey on Switch right now in my hands. And like things I'm really excited about, a full Fire Emblem game coming out next year on it. So that's the stuff that I want to see. It is mostly stuff that we know about. I would say I'm not like wanting for anything on Switch. Like they've got me pretty much covered on all fronts. I'm very happy with this first year of Switch. I'm good. Like I guess like more exclusive things, like Mario. Like so again, I'm getting it. It's just it's not out yet. So that I have to play on Switch, and it gets me more focused on that platform. So that would be it. Any thoughts from you, Scott?
Not really.
Okay. You have yet to get a Switch, so not super relevant quite yet. Trevor Starkey said, you'll probably cover this in what you've been playing, but how cool is it that we finally had hashtag the run in Destiny 2? How cool was it, Tony?
It was pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. Props to our raid team.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun over the multiple days that that we kind of slogged through it.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
We were in good spirits, and
I would do it again.
Me too.
I would do the prestige mode.
I wouldn't go that far, but
I mean, you're
I
gonna.
would do it with that group again. I would do the regular raid. Cameron Abbott said, if a train leaves Boston at 12 p.m. going 85 miles per hour, and a plane leaves New York City going 165 miles per hour, which is way too slow for a plane, do you want to play Overwatch / Destiny 2 after our podcasts? Do you want to play Overwatch or Destiny 2, Tony?
I could be convinced.
Okay, I'll fall in that camp. If Tony can be convinced, I can be convinced.
Get that Symmetra skin that you'll never play.
I could be convinced to play Destiny 2, but I'm not going to play Overwatch.
I do play Symmetra, I'll have you know, Nabishin. And my Symmetra is good. Not great, but good. And it's the Zenyatta skin that I really want. He's got like a Cthulhu skin.
Yeah.
It's rad as fuck. Jared Green on Twitter. Hey, is Future coming to Extra Life with us? I really don't want to answer that. I just wanted to read it. I love Jared so much. Nicole at NMH2105 again. She asks, what is a game you most regret not finishing? That's a good question.
Kingdom Hearts 1.
Really?
Because it killed the series for me, because I'll never go back and finish Kingdom Hearts 1, and because of it, I don't have context for 2.
There you go. You could have been one of us.
Probably not. I don't know.
You're not. Are you like a huge Disney person?
Not really.
Yeah. I feel like if you're not, I mean, I guess like
Like,
Scott.
I'm cool
I
with
don't think
some
you
Disney
are, but
things. I'm not okay with Mickey Mouse.
That's fucked up, dude. I don't know what Mickey Mouse ever did to you. What about you, Nabishin? I feel like you would have a good answer for this.
Probably my biggest one, which is one of my favorite games, but I've never seen the end of it, and I still really don't kind of know how it ends, but I can guess it's probably Zone of the Enders 2, the second runner. I've yet to beat that game. And I bought that game like maybe multiple times. I had the PS3 version, I get the PS2 version. I'll get the PS4 version when it comes out. Yeah, that's probably the biggest one for me.
Scott?
Run the question by me again?
What is the game you regret the most? You most regret not finishing?
Right.
Okami Ishii's another one too.
Yeah, dude, you fucking motherfucker. Oh,
This is a tough one because I generally run with games for a long time.
Yeah.
Until I decide that they're not worth finishing.
Yeah. The scorn of Scott Keltier.
I'm not worthy.
You are not worthy of me. Love that shit, Scott. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love it.
So yeah, that's...
I got two off the top of my dome. Persona Q is the big one. It's probably my number one.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a big one for you.
Yeah, dude.
You were ripped away from that game.
That still eats me alive. Oh, I still have the box, but not the game. I'm looking at it right now. It's like, oh.
Here we go.
Okay.
The Shuffle Knight stuff.
Oh yeah, that's worth finishing.
I completed the main game, of course, but it's every new campaign I get started, and currently my DS is gone. I can't find it.
Fuck.
Wow.
So
other one for me, not Persona 5. I finished that game. Halo 5. Never finished the campaign for that game. I really liked it. What I played of it. And this is kind of like a secondary one. I've never played any DLC for a Dark Souls game. Not the first one, not the second one, not the third one. And I've heard they're all very good.
Did you play Bloodborne DLC?
Yeah, I did. I loved it. It was super good. Remember
It's weird,
talked
right?
about it. Yeah, like I was so into it, and I
actually also own the Dark Souls 3 DLC, but never played it.
Yeah. Shit, Tony, we should do that during Extra Life.
Could. I'd have to make a character and play Dark Souls 3 before Extra Life.
Play Dark Souls 2.
Fuck no.
Yeah, at this point he's got to like commit to it. Yeah, so like I've heard Artorias of the Abyss, the Dark Souls 1 add-on stuff is like phenomenal. Never
Yeah.
played it.
Trevor said Witcher 3. I also have to finish Blood and Wine.
Yeah, I never played Blood and Wine. Fuck, there it is, Nabashin. And I like Hearts of Stone a lot. Shit.
Yeah, I played Hearts of Stone. I was like, I'm just gonna play all the Witcher DLC. But the reason why I never did it's because I actually lost my Witcher save, so I was just gonna wait until I could play the whole game again because I didn't want to like make it like default DLC Geralt. So I think maybe it'll probably be after Extra Life, but I might play through The Witcher 3 again. Finally pick the correct girl, you know.
Like real talk, like me with Blood and Wine, that is sort of like I don't want it to end type of thing. It's like
oh, dude, you know I get that. You know I fucking get that, dude. Oh.
I mean, I finished Persona 5, even though that killed me to finish, but like it's one of those type of things.
But we had to.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my game shelf now. I'm just like seeing stuff. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. I never finished.
I didn't finish that either. I barely started.
I didn't finish the Persona 3 side, which sucks. Or the other parts. I never finished 3D Dot Game Heroes, but I don't really regret that. I saw that and I just want to.
Did you ever finish Persona Q?
No, that was the first one I said.
Oh, sorry. I just started saying Persona shit. I don't mean to rub it in.
Dude, it hurts so much. But I think that's it.
Yo, but what about Persona Q?
Fucking dude, man. Oh.
Do you think the guy who found that like picked up your save and finished the game and
dude,
is like,
he's got my fucking, you know, I hate carrying cases, but I fucking used that Persona Q one because I love Persona and it had all my games in it and I lost all of them. So fuck carrying cases. Fuck carrying cases. I'm with you, Scott. Burn them all down. Oh, now I'm just angry.
See, when you're me and Scott, you just have a computer and you can put that in the box.
I wish I had my laptop bag.
Carrying box.
That was before I had my laptop bag. All right, that's it for questions.
We've sufficiently triggered Alex, so
yeah, you guys are like my brothers right now, fucking triggering me like some shit. Oh no, that was good. That was a good way to go out. Passionate way to go out. Nabashin, I didn't think of a bet. I was gonna ask you to think of one during the break.
Oh damn! Like that's so late.
I know. All right, I gotta do this. I believe in you. You can think of a good one.
Okay.
You can be a part of the show, just like all those lovely folks were, by contacting us in a variety of ways. You can send us a voicemail, 404-590-1337. Standard long-distance fees do apply. You can leave us an email, mailsack@irrationalpassion.com, or you can tweet at us just like those folks did. Tweet at IrrationalPod with hashtag IPQ. If you'd like to follow each of us on Twitter, I am at AlFighter27. Scott is at WhatTechuz. Nabashin is at NABESHIN186. And Tony's at Tony Horvath. You can follow the site on Twitter at IrrationalPod. Some other stuff, I skipped one. Rate and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. Our other shows like Monthly Passions Podcast and Input. Twitch.tv/IrrationalPassions and YouTube.com/IrrationalPassions. It's all of our video stuff. There's a little cute announcement video on YouTube /IrrationalPassions announcing all of our Extra Life stuff if you want to go check that out. Roger Bicorni edited it, so it's very fun. And if you like the show, tell your friends about it. Word of mouth is the best way to spread the love. And honestly, like we wouldn't be where we are 350 episodes in. And, you know, we don't have like a lot of listeners. We have a good, fun, passionate group of people that listen or watch live or send us tweets or friends that come on the show or whatnot. That's all thanks to you guys for talking about it, sharing it with friends, and kind of getting out there and being on the show and being a part of the show as well. So thank you all. Cheers to 350 episodes. I don't know. I'm not necessarily going to commit to 350 more, but
I will.
You know, fuck it. Thank you,
Alex,
all. Like seriously,
Scott,
thank you.
Nabashin, Tony, we're doing 350 more.
Man, IP 700. Shit,
yeah, man.
That's what 7.
Do you think we'll be dead by the time IP 1000 comes around?
7 more years from now would be I would be. What am I 24 now? I'd be 31.
Alex. You'll be 31.
Oh, Jesus Christ. God, I hope I'm not doing this then. I hope I'm dead. No, I'm
And
just
then like
kidding.
another 6 years after that. So when we're 37, that'll be IP 1000.
I quit after that. I'm not committing to more than 1,000 episodes. I will throw it out. No, I have a good time here. So yeah, just to take a moment to take a knee. Thank you all so much for supporting the show the way you have. Over 350 goddamn episodes, and I love and appreciate all of you. For everything else, Irrational Passions info on our extra life stuff, irrationalpassions.com. It's all there. And it's a beautiful new website that looks like a modern video games website, so you should go check it out. Now, it is time for bets. I don't even remember what last week's bet was. Probably something dumb.
Something about Evil Within 2, probably.
No, it wasn't. It was the Gran Turismo Sport trophy percentage bet. Where can I look this up, Namashin?
I can look that up, probably.
Okay. It was for the trophy percentage for Collection 10 in Gran Turismo Sport. Did you think of a good bet?
Yeah, it's it has to do with get the average from OpenCritic of Assassin's Creed Origins, Mario Odyssey, and Wolfenstein, add them all together, divide by 3. And what's that number?
Dude, I like that. All right.
They all come out the same day.
Of course, all those games come out the same day. So if we take the average, and again, OpenCritic uses a 100-point scale for y'all reference. Take the average of Mario Odyssey's score, Wolfenstein the New Order score, and Assassin's Creed Origins score. Average that. What will the score be? I'm feeling like, I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm feeling like Assassin's Creed might bring that down a little bit. Ooh, actually, Wolfenstein might. I don't know. One of them could be stinkers. I think Mario Odyssey is going to be the outlier, though.
What's the trophy
That
called?
game's going to get some 10s. What's up?
What's the trophy?
What's the trophy called?
Yeah.
Collection 10. Okay. Just hold on to that. We'll get to it in a moment. If you want to write your score in and send it, do it. I like this bet option. So one more time, it is the review scores, overall scores on OpenCritic for Wolfenstein, Assassin's Creed, and Mario Odyssey. Ooh, Tony gets me with the low end, though. Fucker. Scott's got the high, though. Fucker. I bet 83. Scott bet 95. Tony bet 80. Option bet 90. I'm not gonna lie, I think I got that one, guys. Feeling good about it.
Video games anymore.
It's true. I'm worried. I'm worried about Assassin's Creed. We'll see. Last week's bet. As of our recording next week, what will the trophy percentage of Collection 10 for Gran Turismo Sport be? The trophy description is acquire a total of 10 cars. I bet 67.7%. Scott bet 50%. Tony bet 64%. Fuck, Tony, you fucker.
What?
2 weeks in a row, you just undercut me by just a little bit. Nabishin bet 80%, and Moises betting for Team BBC bet 49%. And the percentage is
34.8.
34.
Fuck, Moises took it. Who gets the last word now? Because I didn't forget this time.
No one gets it.
All right, well, Moises has won Danny Juarez's love and affection until next week when it returns to one of us where it belongs.
Someone in the chat say some hot take, and I will read it out loud, and that will be the final word.
Okay, I like that. Give us a hot take.
Though. Have to be right now. Right now.
A hot take from the people.
Yeah, don't give us some fucking cold take shit. If it's cold take, don't read it, Nabishin. I don't want to hear.
Don't read any cold fucking takes.
Don't bring fucking cold takes to this podcast. Is what I'm saying. So that brings Team BBC's score up to 40.
Yo, whoever posts a cold take gets banned.
And Team Flot's score remains at 35. Woo!
Oh,
We're at what? 48.
You're at 40.
Our-
Don't get ahead of yourself.
from the chat, Snarky Starky, our boy Trevor, Zelda Breath of the Wild stinks. Yeah, we can't argue it. Move on.
That's the show.
It's just okay.
That's the show. Thank you all for listening. As I said before, I appreciate all of you very, very much. And I love you all. And thank you to Danny Wiesner, who I also love, for opening music of Two Player Co-op. And our closing music of The World is Saved. Any last thoughts, feelings for IP 350?
I mean, Zelda Breath of the Wild stinks, so that's all that matters. I guess.
Now Nabashin has been on 2.5 times more episodes than he's not been on.
It's true. Well, Nabashin missed a couple in there. Generally. Nabashin, now you're 250 episodes deep. How does that feel?
Yeah.
You've been on more episodes of
Than
IP
Evan?
than yes, for sure. That's actually true too. Like that's probably true. So basically, is what we're going and we're rewriting history. Evan is no longer a founder of Irrational Passions. It is now Nabashin. Weird, right?
Weird.
Like that all along. No, thank you guys for doing this with me for so long. I appreciate all of you for taking the time out of your Friday or Saturday nights or Sunday nights or Monday nights if we're very late, and just sitting down with me and spitting the shit for fucking 2+ hours about video games. I fucking love you guys.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. For fucking 350 and for 350 more, I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your games, stay irrational. We'll talk to you all next week.
Titles.
Titles.
So we got a neo-Nazi haircut. How far are we in? Idle pouring. The only real aesthetic is anime. Insta-kills are terrible. Kill the guy who named Zanga. Tom is my friend. Don't at me. I don't have a choice. You're not worthy. Did you ever finish Persona Q? And no cold takes.
I'm honestly surprised a title of the show, of an episode of the show, hasn't been Don't At Me yet. I really like No Cold Takes, dude. That's a really good name for a podcast.
Do you want to just cancel Irrational Passions right now and relaunch as No Cold Takes?
No Cold Takes. It's funny because like input shtick is no hot takes.
Wouldn't we?
No cold takes.
Wouldn't we just name ourselves Hot Takes?
No, because No Cold Takes is way funnier.
But our slogan would be No Cold Takes.
Okay, hot takes : no cold takes.
Yep.
What do you like, Nabashin?
Or No Cold Takes : Hot Takes only.
I normally would say the only real ecstatic is the anime, but we have too many anime titles this fucking year, so no cold takes. I have not gone back and looked at all the titles again, so it's upsetting to hear that we might have too many anime.
Look, anime did
year.
nothing wrong.
Anime was a mistake.
No, it's just Stoney did something wrong.
Yeah, it was just your fault directly, Tony. We'll just blame you. Cool.
It's my fault for the entire state of the anime industry.
Exactly. I'm glad you're willing to admit that.
I don't know what I did that could have such an effect.
I don't know either. You became the physical embodiment of Yuri on Ice.
I mean, I wish.
Are we going to have a drunk Yuri on Ice viewing party at Extra Life?
We could. That show's real good. But I feel like that's like...
I mean, that's like a Wednesday thing, and we're already
Yeah.
seeing Thor.
Yeah. I told Nabashin that we might see Thor on Thursday instead. So we could feasibly do it on Wednesday.
I mean, if you want, I'm not going to argue.
What do you like, Tony?
I like the one with the takes.
Cool.
Yeah, I think we're all on no cold takes.
Man, finally we agree on something. Shit. Here's what we should do. I'll say the episode number, and we should all say no cold takes. That's like a tradition, right? We've done that before.
Yeah.
Probably. Let's roll with it.
And if it's not perfect, I can edit it together and make it so we all.
No. If it's not perfect, you leave it because it's perfect and it's not perfectness.
Okay, fair enough. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Is this okay with you, Scott? You didn't give me affirmative consent, so I'm.
I believe we should be doing no cold takes with someone else saying hot takes only.
I want to say no cold takes together.
We can do that.
Okay, thank you, Scott.
Shut up and conform, Scott.
You're listening to Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 350. No cold takes.
No cold takes.
No cold takes. No cold takes. Gave you 3 trials. There you go.
Yeah, it's a good selection. All right, you can stop recording now.
Hot takes only.
I fucking love you guys. I'm gonna make that an amalgamation of something also. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a good night.